I'm going to tell you why them boys hate it. Because I'm these hoes' favorite. The handsome hustler. The gorgeous gangster. You dig?
Yes, sir.
The idol of James Bond. Marquette Devon Burton. The saint and the sinner. Giving you lessons from a pimp.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried,
But ass. are we doing today? Welcome to another show. If I sound a little stuffy, okay, it's because I got the colds, okay? So it is what it is. But we gonna do the show today, all right? Listen, I had no idea, okay, that these guys were going to form the Red Pill Justice League out here, okay? And not just that they were going to do this, but they were going to do this with the most sus characters out there, okay? And y'all know who I'm talking about. We talking about Sus Marquardt, okay? And this podcast, it didn't even make any sense because it seems like Rollo Tomassi, okay, is trying to recreate the Rule Zero Club, okay? But in this case, he's got Fresh and Fit, he's got Saint the Sinner, or aka Sus Marquardt, and then Chatterbox Sartain over there too as well, okay? Listen, it's just crazy. It's just crazy, right? And these guys are getting together and, you know, they're talking about, well, I mean, what else? Women. That's all they do. And honestly, this right here got to prove my point, okay? Because a lot of these guys, they're a bunch of weirdos, okay? Just chat. Listen to this, okay? Listen to this, all right? They will look at us, a channel that basically looks at some of the incorrect things that they're teaching young men out there. And when we criticize that, they say, oh my God, listen, these guys are haters, okay? They're clout chasers, okay? They're just trying to see us fall, okay? And honestly, all they do is sit around and talk about people all day. That's right. When we out here doing our original content, all these reaction channels, okay, all they do is just react to us. They got no talent, all right? And honestly, in all honesty, yeah, we'll take that criticism, okay? All we do is react to all of you dumbasses. But to be fair, I would rather do that than sit around and gossip about women all day long. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a guy just as all we got men in the chat all over the place. We don't want to sit around talking about women all fucking day. I mean, I can't think about anything more pathetic than that. All right, listen, I love women. All right, that it is what it is, but they're not worth me sitting around the table with thousands of people watching and then just trying to, you know, plan out, well, why aren't women dating men like us? I mean, come on, tell me you're lame without telling me you're lame here. And yeah. Y'all have the balls to turn around and point the finger at us and say, oh, well, you guys are talking about other men. Yeah, no, we're laughing at you, okay? There's a difference. We're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you, okay? So that's a hell of a lot different, us forming Justice League circles, all right, and just talking about how to get in good with women nowadays, okay? Oh, my God. Maybe it's because of this, and maybe it's because the liberal messaging is turning these women into just this Western women. They all have OnlyFans account now, which we exploit for our benefit. But but still, they are the number one people who are destroying society. We have to do something, right? I mean, I just find this so hilarious. But then you guys just sit around and just talk about women all day. I just can't understand it. How a group of people can spend so much time trying to figure out women, but still end up sucking hard at it. All right, and not only do you guys suck hard at it, but your fans who are watching for advice also suck ass at it. All right, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But again, that's not going to stop these two bozos from coming together, or I guess all of these bozos, including Sus Marquardt, from coming together and recreating that conversation, talking about women. Okay, and it was pretty interesting because this episode, they kind of admitted something that we've been saying for a long time on this chat. But again, it's like we're out here in the future, and it's not because we're not special, or we're special. We're not special at all. All right, we're just average people with common sense. Okay, everybody that watches the chat, okay, people who are participating in the chat, y'all know we have common sense, which honestly isn't so common anymore. Okay, but with that common sense comes unique responsibilities and powers, okay? And those powers is us being able to accurately just suss out the consequences or potential consequences of whatever decisions we make, okay? So essentially, we think before we act. That's what it is, right? But in this sense, with these guys, it's not the same because common sense, it's not common to them. So they take advice from these people and they end up failing themselves because they don't think. All right. So now this particular discussion was very interesting because now they're starting to realize that, hey, I don't think we're winning, guys. Honestly, I think Western women are finally winning, right? Now, they didn't say it in that exact term that I laid out. They basically referred to it in the whole conversation, right? Matter of fact, not only that Western women are winning, right? They're winning. And I'll get into a little bit later why that is, because we've already used common sense to predict why, right? But also, the type of women that were supposed to be traditionally conservative leaning are also not liking them. Okay, they're not even into dating them. As a matter of fact, it seems as though some of these Tradcon women is the term that they use in this space. Okay, don't ask me what the fuck that means. It's basically a woman who acts traditional but really ain't traditional. I don't know. Okay, but these guys, they have all these terms. So apparently Tradcon women are now a problem because Tradcon women are not really falling for the bullshit. You know, the bullshit with all these red pillars, you know, we take care of the family, we provide and protect, all that bullshit, right? And we've witnessed multiple examples where these guys, when they had a moment to prove to us that they have the ability to protect and provide, they have failed on multiple occasions. So, I mean, at this point, who the fuck is believing anything that comes out of their mouths, right? So anyways, that's essentially what's going on here, right? They're now starting to look around and say, hey, I think these women are winning. I think at the end of the day, they're still going to choose they want to choose because, you know, society now is been catered towards the women. So they don't really need men anymore. And that was hence the crux of most of their conversation in this podcast, how women no longer need men in today's society. Now, here's why this is very important, because it goes to what we've been saying for a while, but they've been denying, because the reason why they've denied it is because they wanted to bring us back to traditionalism, right? They wanted to bring us back where women were, you know, traditional. They cooked, take care of kids, you know, when the dad goes out and makes all the big bucks, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? And that's the idea, because in today's modern, you know, liberal Western society, well, the women have a little too much freedom, and that's a problem, because now they have the freedom to, you know, either choose education or choose a family, either choose, you know, relationships or choose careers, right? And most of the time, they often choose the latter. They would choose careers, they would choose, you know, some other things, right, just to get themselves set up. Now, here's the thing. It's not for the reason these pill poppers will tell you, oh, it's because society, it's destroyed our women. No, it's not because of that at all, okay? It's because society's getting so fucking hard, all right? We don't live in the times where a man can have one income and provide for his entire family. It's impossible nowadays, man. Look at the housing market. People can't even buy at that house and picket fence. Most people can't even afford the dog, okay? So the American dream is dead. It's been dead for almost 75 years. All right. And we know it as the younger generation. So women now are increasingly now feeling the burden, and they are going now to meet the rising challenge by going to school, getting that education, they can get that job and things like that, right? So they're enrolling universities, they're getting those C-suite jobs, they're actually winning. And we have said that in this chat, right? We've been going against the red pill narrative for a very long time. We've been telling you guys, listen, I don't care what y'all are talking about over here, but the women are winning. You can laugh at them being overly enrolled and then turn around and say, well, they're still stupid because they're women, right? It doesn't matter. Because they're enrolled and they have that degree, you know, the shit that y'all shame them for, they're getting those C-suite jobs. So then when we want to talk about men, their suicide rates, then we look at all the circumstances surrounding men. Well, first of all, men aren't really enrolling in the military as much as they used to. So we know that whole provide, protect shit is out the window. Men aren't making a ton of money like they used to, right? Because the economy doesn't allow for it anymore. So now that gets tossed out the window. The providing, you can't provide if you got to work alongside your woman, you know? So all of these things are getting tossed out the window. We're talking about enrollment in blue collar work, or at least blue collar training, we don't see the men. So men are increasingly just disappearing. Okay. And then when you try to figure out what's going on, you go to the internet and you see these nonsense being spewed by these guys that also feeds the cycle of men being pushed out. Now, the one place online that men are overly represented is in OnlyFans subscriptions. I'm being real with y'all. It is in OnlyFans subscriptions, okay? And we always ask the question, why, okay? But you look at these guys that sign up for these OnlyFans, you look at the channels that they follow, like Fresh and Fit and all these things, all right? Because they feed the loop. Then you start to get the understanding of what's going on and why men are losing. Because, again, they don't really understand. So when we come in and tell you guys, no, you're saying that, you know, women are going to buy Dog and Die Alone because they're choosing these careers or anything like that. It's not that at all, okay? It's that woman, she might die alone, but then again, so are men. There are tons of men dying alone right now because there's so many things that are just, you know, going on, right? And relationships gone, and marriages declining, right? There are a lot of problems happening, and I'm going to tell you this. Now that we're in a competitive market, you got to come up with a little bit more than just income, providing, and protecting. Okay, you got to do a little bit more. Okay, and that's what these guys don't understand. And even if you don't, because we told them, we said, even if you don't do a little bit more and you expect these women to come to running to you because they are afraid of being alone, okay, you got another thing coming. Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get to the realization that the women don't need you for protection. We got institutions to go ahead and figure that shit out for us, okay? They don't need you to provide. They are now thrust into the workforce to do this, right? So if you want to be competitive, okay, it's not going overseas and, you know, hunting down a thought and trying to figure out what you want to do with that, right? No, it's basically figuring out how you're going to develop a relationship in the new economy structure, okay? And I think Fresh and Fit, Rollo Tomassi, and some of the head honchos, minus Marquardt, of the Red Pill are now realizing this, okay? They're realizing that, you know, we can't keep teaching bringing women back to traditionalism anymore. It doesn't work, okay? Because the economy, the world is just changing that much. So instead, we're going to go ahead and be of the side of, I told you guys so, all right? See, modern women, we've always told you, modern women, they don't need you. They don't need you at all. We told you that. We've always told you that. So, you know, you got to go do and worry about other things, right? And it's like, oh, so now you guys are coming to that realization. Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to reality. Now, the one thing I still don't understand is why is Marquardt there? Matter of fact, especially in this particular interview, he brought Bridget along. Hi, Bridget. Hi, you drunk bitch. I hope everything's going well. Listen. I'm not drunk. I just want to let you guys know that. Okay? I know y'all likes the liquor. You and Marquardt. How is that case going, by the way, for him? You know he had a DUI, but somehow these people that are supposed to be, you know, morally superior to everyone else, okay? They're worried about loyalty, honor, and respect, and then they surround themselves with literal scammers, lying, and cheats. Okay, so how is that going for you, Bridget? And for those of you guys who don't know who Bridget is Sus Marquardt's assistant. She's been his assistant since the Fletch app days. Okay, and yeah. So if you guys were wondering why the intro looked a little funny, okay, because we know who Bridget is. We know exactly who Bridget is. Not only is she a drunk, she got a DUI. Her brother got a DUI. Now her boyfriend, Sus Marquardt, got a DUI. It's just like they were meant to be. It just seems like it. But chat, listen, let's go ahead and get into the video. I know I'm already gonna get a headache, and I already have a cold already, so. You know, this is going to be tough for me to endure, okay? But you guys have to endure with me. I'm being real, chat. You have to endure with me, okay? But before we get into the video, let's go ahead and cover the sponsorship of today's show. And that is you guys. More specifically, the YouTube like button. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here watching us roast some pill popping weirdos. And I appreciate that because literally there are billions of content out there that you could be watching. But the fact that you're spending tonight with dukendon, that does mean a lot to me. So please don't let your time be wasted here and go ahead and sponsor today's show. How do you do that? Well, it's easy. The easiest way to do it is to smash the like button below the screen here. All right. And honestly, if you're fucking with the show so far, go ahead and give your boy a subscribe. I mean, look at me. I'm out here. I'm sick. And I'm out here doing a show. So hook your boy up with that subscribe button as well. If you don't, it is what it is. I still appreciate you for being here. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Oh my God, it's fucking Mike Sartain. Oh.
Society and technology advances, you're going to get further and further away from a survival scenario. Right. And as you get further and further away from a survival scenario,
beliefs,
then all of a sudden you have the luxury of not having the same beliefs. I'm not saying, let's bring back the Scarlet Letter or whatever, but
I'm saying bring it back.
What I am saying, though, is the result of there being no consequence of Brittany Renner saying, I fucked 3 guys today and I have a yeast infection. And she goes viral on TikTok for saying that. For her doing that, we had a girl on here one time. Do you remember? She's like, yeah, I'm seeing this guy's pretty serious. And then later on, by the end of the show, admit she just gave a guy a blowjob right before the show. I was like, it's the guy you're dating. She's like, no, it's a different guy. And I'm like, probably 60,000 people are watching us.
And that makes sense in her head, though. That,
for sure.
That's the part that kills me, is that in her head,
for sure,
that's still okay.
Then with the floral pattern clothing. I mean, think about this. This guy is supposed to pride himself on being a fashion designer, okay, and a salesman. And all the ideas he can muster up are floral pattern clothing. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. And some of these floral patterns, it reminds me of my grandmama's couches or curtains. Y'all remember when you go to grandmama's house, all right, and you see the little antique or like the older curtains with the nice little design and floral patterns and whatnot, right? Either the curtains or the couch, it don't matter. It looked like he cut it up and put it on a shirt. I mean, look at this. Oh, you think I'm capping? All right, look at this. Y'all think I'm playing? I had a couch just like this. All right, I had a couch just like this growing up. This nigga cut it up and put it in a fucking suit. I mean, make it make sense, dog. I mean, who would walk around wearing this? I mean, jeez. I mean, even look at Myron's got that tight ass biker jacket on. I mean, what is going on the show, dog? This is weird.
Yeah. There's a redhead that just kind of like, I don't want to go into too many details, but long story short, it's 3 a.m. I'm in my storefront, right? Woman knocks on the door. I open the door. She's claiming she wants to go upstairs, right? So I was like, okay, I'll let you in the building. So I leave out of my storefront. I go let her upstairs, and then she still needs me to scan her into the elevator. So we get in the elevator. She has a drink. She's supposed to go meet her friend. She's texting, and then she says, oh, they're saying like the party's over, so I guess I'm too late. Okay, cool. So then we go back out. You guys know it's been a bit cold, right? So she's supposedly waiting for someone to come pick her up, her boyfriend. So then she says, hey, it's a bit cold. Do you mind if I sit inside with you while I wait for him? I'm not going to tell you guys how that story ended, but what I can tell you is that during the proceedings that occurred, I could see her texting him, oh, baby, I love you. And like, I'm sorry we had this fight and I shouldn't have went out without you. And you know what? I truly believe she meant every word of it.
She did.
Despite everything she did that night, she meant every word.
And all the time.
And honestly, here's what I find so interesting about these stories these people tell. All right, it's always to put women in the worst possible light, right? And in this case, it's just like, oh my goodness. Yeah, this chick was waiting for her Uber, and she came up to me. I said, hey, can I chill with you because it's cold and wait for my Uber? But the whole time, I'm not going to tell you what happened that night, insinuating that there was some possible sexual activities going on. I'm not going to tell you, though, because I want to keep it entertaining and spicy with this fake-ass story I'm telling. But, yes, and before we did what we did, okay, I was looking at her texting her man, telling her man that she loves him regardless of what we did that night. Bro, y'all tell these far off stories that realistically, listen, I'm not saying I doubt it happened, okay? I'm just saying I probably doubt it happened, at least in the manner that you're saying it happened, okay? Because, y'all be putting these fictionalized stories out there. It don't even make any sense, really. I mean, it really don't. I mean, it's just like when Fresh Prince CEO talks about, getting laid. All right, at a NBL basketball players party, right? And how did he find that party per se? Well, he was also at a party, And at that party, and no, this party wasn't the NBA players' party. It was just a random party. And the NBA player was at that party and talked to Fresh, asking Fresh at a party what other parties are going on. Right? And then Fresh says, oh, I don't know. Right? And the guy later then finds a party, apparently, that the NBA player was hosting, apparently, but then he was asking Fresh what parties to go to, even though he was hosting a party later that night. Invites Fresh, and then all these women are there, and then he just tells Fresh, oh, pick one or pick three. And he goes up to his room with three women at this NBA player's party, a guy he found at a different party when the NBA player was looking for a party. Y'all just be capping too damn much. This needs to stop. This honestly needs to stop. These stories are ridiculous. And honestly, what they're geared to do is make themselves seem as if they're cooler than you. That's it, right? Oh, look at me. I'm so cool that this girl would walk up to me randomly and she's waiting for her Uber. And while she's waiting for her Uber, she's texting her man. But I mean, jeez, I'm gonna tell you right now, we did something. I'm not gonna tell you what we did, but we did something. Bottom line is, the lesson you should learn is women ain't trustful. Listen, I'm not saying that there's some distrustful women out there. It is what the fuck it is, all right? But am I saying this particular story is true? I highly doubt it, okay? It's just a gimmick at this point.
You guys have had over 2,000 women on your show.
Yeah.
Have you heard I have never heard a single woman say, I cheated on this guy and I regret it. Not one time. Maybe once, and I can't remember, but I never hear a woman say, I broke up and I regret it. Because the thing is, what regretting would have to come with some consequences. I'm a man of my word. If I don't keep my word, if I keep showing up late, if I do business deals with you guys and I screw you over, not only will you not work with me, other people will not work with me as well. My value as a human, my ability to be useful to other humans comes through my word.
That's so great, Michael Sartain. Your value as a human comes through your word as a man. Okay, great. Sitting across from you is a guy named Sus Marquardt, aka Saint the Sinner, you bozo, and he actually scammed his fans. So as a business owner yourself running a podcast, what kind of man are you to let a guy like that sit up on your podcast after he scammed his own fans and not call them out on it? But you're a man of honor, right? Your word is your bond, because, women can't be trusted, okay? Because, they hang around with snakes. But us men, we don't hang out with fake people or snakes or anything like that, right? Right? I mean, just the hypocrisy, guys. The hypocritical nature of these bozos. And this Mike Sartain guy, the more and more I hear him talk, the more and more I'm realizing he likes to hear himself talk. John with the $20 super chat. Shout out to you, John. Can we get a W in the chat for John? John, where have you been, by the way? I feel like it's been a minute since you've been in the chat. Welcome back. John says, what? You mean that women who are traditionally conservative Christians don't want weirdo men who advocate for sleeping with tons of women they themselves didn't do and blame all the women for them being losers? Damn, nigga. Yes. No, that's exactly what we're saying. Yeah, that's what this is, right? And I told you guys, listen, we've said that here before. A lot of these conservatives dudes or these red pill dudes, they think that dragging women back into conservatism is going to be the way to save society and save women. It's like, no, because even back when we were in those times, women didn't like being that. If they had a choice back then, I'm sure it would still be the same as it is right now. At the end of the day, no matter what gender we are, we're human beings, okay? Whether you're man or woman, you're still a human being, and no one wants to feel inferior to another person. That's how society is, okay? And women probably back then have always felt that if their position was just relegated to household and child rearing and all these things without having the ability to go out and pursue their dreams, right? I mean, think about it. If the role was flipped and we lived in some wacky world where men weren't allowed to do that, all right, it'll be pretty painful because people have ambitions, okay? And now that we're living in a time where all that's okay, guess what? Women are going to pursue their passion. They're going to pursue whatever the fuck it is. It doesn't always have to be tied down to some man. And honestly, the more I think about these guys steady talking about how women should come back and women should just be with men and women should just have kids. That's what they, why they're so depressed right now, because they would choose career over their kids. Bro, the fact that y'all spend all this time just trying to bring women back, it feels as though y'all are the needy ones and not the women. And that's why I'm like, part of the reason why I'm trying to get y'all to snap out of this shit. All right. Because y'all making real world men look stupid. Y'all making us look real bad. And it shows. I mean, look at the amount of OnlyFans subscription of these bozos. The rate is through the fucking roof. Okay. So clearly these guys need women. You guys are some needy ass dudes. And you know who else knows y'all niggas are needy? Conservative women. Conservative women, they cheat on you with liberal guys. That's just how that works. Because we're not trying to control people. What do you think this is? We ain't got time for that shit. Live your life, okay? But if somebody fucks with your rights, we got your back. That's how it works, okay? But laissez-faire, do what you got to do, okay? And these men don't understand it. They don't understand that the ideas they're preaching, they're subtly trying to control women and behaviors, right? That's what the whole point of this shit is, right? Either they could try to shame you into going back to traditionalism, or they can try to, sweet talk you with their talking points and saying, no, women, we're not really against you. No, we are for you. That's why we're telling you, like Pearl, that you shouldn't vote. Your rights to vote. No. It's not helping you. It's actually destroying you, because look at you. You're depressed. I can't believe you got Pearl baggy eyes telling somebody else that they're depressed. It's like, bitch, have you looked in the mirror? Do you know what your eyes look like? You look like you haven't slept in months. Okay, you look like those eye bags are so ginormous. I don't even know what the fuck to do with them. You need some like serious spa sessions. Okay, because I don't know what's gonna fix any of that shit. Okay, but still. Think about that. They're trying to just take away women's rights while pretending they're for women. It's just insane to me. But shout out to you, John. I appreciate it. Anna with the $5 super chat. Shout out to Anna. Hold up. I told y'all I was sick. Now, doing this show today is tough for me, all right? But shout out to y'all. Anna says, I want husband material, Sean Strickland with a beat-up truck kind of guy, not an Andrew Tate degenerate who drives a Bugatti if I'm considered Tradcon. Listen, I don't know about Sean Strickland. That guy's crazy, but I mean, he'll do more than drive a beat-up truck. He'll probably beat up on something else. Hey, listen, guys like that, I wouldn't put it past them to beat up on a woman. I mean, the guy clearly has mental issues. So, but yes, I get the idea. A good, hearty man that's not really, in the need for material things. And those guys are out there. And believe it or not, they're the guys that are winning. Okay, because these guys, their mentality has been so fucked with this red pill matrix that they believe that all women are after their money and all the women are just gold diggers and all women want men who are high value and they don't want average guys. And then you see these interviews on the streets and you see these women who don't really even know much about relationships, let alone been in one, right? Talk about how they want a 6-figure man, and it validates these guys' ideas on, well, society is going to hell because these women want these men who are way out. But in all reality, it's the average guys that are winning. Why? Because majority of women are average. All right? It's not the average woman doing OnlyFans. That's just a minority of women that are either blown up on the internet or they're just out there. Okay? You don't really know who they are or whatever it is, but they're not the majority of women. Okay? The majority of women are just living average lives, going to work like a 9-to-5er because we're all the tax slaves here, okay? That's supposed to happen. And guess what? As an average woman, you tend to get with an average man. If you go out to your local Walmart, go out to your local store, or even go out and about, you'll see average people and couples together all the time. It just debunks these guys' insane narrative. And this is what I try to tell people all the time. Like, when they're telling you, oh, this is what women want, they don't know what women want. They can sit around their round table trying to discuss women, dating, and all this shit. At the end of the day, they don't understand women, and it shows.
If I have big fake boobies, then I don't have to do that. And when I don't show up on time, like it's just incredible to me, like the leeway. And by the way, I'm not blaming women for this. Can you imagine how any of us would act if we had women offering us sex hundreds of times a day? Not only women offering us sex,
right there.
They're offering us money just to show our bodies.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like how you'd be intolerable? I'm not even blaming women for this.
I can't blame women
You'd
for
be intolerable. You wouldn't even know. There's no way evolutionarily for your brain to like comprehend that. So when women were getting all this attention, they still have the same evolutionary psychology hardwire that they had 200,000 years ago. It's just not, that firmware is not programmed for this stimulus, for this input. And so when they do it, they just become intolerable, which is the same thing.
Look at Britney Spears right now.
Sure.
I made a post about this. She's going crazy. For anyone that for the Gen Zers, we're all old enough to know. She was going. She was obviously
we're
pop
already
star.
there.
She's gonna go down. Down the Hall of Fame. With the MJs and the Shares and everything else like that as a pop singer, right? It's undebatable that she's probably one of the top pop stars in the 90s, right? Whatever. She got famous young though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that the craziness that Britney Spears is experiencing right now came from her getting too much attention and too much fame at a young age, and she didn't know how to handle it.
Oh yeah, too much, too young, too
in the
fast.
next 20 years.
Congratulations, Myron. Congratulations. I mean, do you think you're saying anything profound here? Do you think you're saying anything new? Oh, Britney Spears. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you guys right now, getting fame at a young age ruined her. Yeah, no shit. We all know that. That's why we hate Disney. Look at all the people that Disney and Nickelodeon pumped out over here. All these child stars and actresses, and look how fucked up their lives are. We know. Society is well aware of that, okay? And there are even obvious conspiracies going into that about possible molestation of said young girls, right? Or men, or young boys, right? AKA P. Diddy and all the bullshit he was doing at his mansion, right? I mean, R. Kelly was another one. Okay, so yeah, we do know that Hollywood has a way of taking advantage of young child stars, or whatever you want to call it. So you just using Britney Spears as an example. What honestly is the point of this conversation? I mean, you're not saying anything new. This is my problem with these people. They don't say anything new. It's all repackaged bullshit that we all know, but somehow dumbasses pay them for it.
You're going to see the same thing with a bunch of these regular ass girls thanks to fucking Instagram.
Well,
you got regular girls with 100,000 followers, no skill set, used to getting a bunch of attention and likes from men.
Million dudes simping over.
Could you imagine what it's going to be like when she's 40 and she no longer gets that same level of attention? It's going to be Britney Spears, but on a crazy and exponentially more level.
And then we want them to commit to one man that is mediocre at best, and then say, oh, you know what? Lower your standards. She won't.
Yeah, because
it's
these girls.
impossible.
Well, so have these girls sometimes they can sleep with a guy above their skills. I think they can date him. Just get these girls that can sleep with a guy.
Well,
Usually a man, if we sleep with a girl, we can date
so you
him.
think you can get a 9 to commit.
Exactly, but generally we can fuck a girl. That girl will date us in most cases. But
Yeah.
these women sometimes will sleep below our levels, or if we're sleeping around, and these girls think they can date men that are way out of their league, and they're chasing these guys that they can't date. I'm flooded.
What the fuck did he say? What the fuck? Hey, buddy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this guy. It seems like he's had a couple brain cells knocked loose or some shit like that. Okay, we don't even understand what the fuck he's saying. But bro, dating doesn't work like that. Okay, it really doesn't. Okay, listen. Women will sometimes it's not even chasing the guy out of the league or anything like that, right? It's just sometimes you guys gotta understand when you get in a relationship with people, sex happens. Okay, and once sex happens, people get sprung. If y'all know what a sprung means, it means you get hooked. You fall in love. And what these guys are trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, the woman tries to have sex with the hot guy and she gets sprung on him, and and she thinks that the hot guy really wants to date her. No, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I've seen ugly ass dudes. Matter of fact, you know one thing I realized, dude, and I see around some of my Latino homies, dog. They got these weird ass haircuts, okay, and it's just preposterous because it looks like somebody put a bowl on their head and shaved around it, okay, but they left the back of it so it's like a mullet, dog. And one of my homies has this haircut, and I'm clowning him, but his girl is bad as hell. That's what we all know that. We know his girl's bad as hell. It's like, how listen, if you would even look at these red pill guys and how they talk, right? They're like, someone like Sus Marquardt would look at his hairstyle and say, yo, your hairstyle is ugly. You probably get no bitches. He slays every bad bitches in town, bruh. Like, I'm telling you, this guy has game with all these hot Latina girls, and we just don't know how he does it, but he does it, okay? And again, women would date him, okay? And women get sprung on him. But guess what? There's also been women who he's dated that he's heavily fallen in love with. And we try to tell him, yo, I mean, that ain't it. And honestly, we can even say the girls he deals with, like, sometimes they're not all the way what you call 10, 13s or whatever the fuck you call it, right? Some of these women that he'll be obsessing over are women that are less attractive than him. Okay? And this is a guy that can pull any girl, like hot Latina girl, he can do it, right? But there are a few girls that aren't to even those women's standards in terms of beauty, but this dude is hooked. Like, there's something about it. I don't know. Maybe it's the sex. I don't know. It's probably the sex, okay? And that's what I'm telling you. Like, guys get sprung. This whole dating thing, I mean, women, again, it's hard to describe because, again, we don't know. Like, women, it just depends. 1 minute they'll be into this type of dude. The next minute they're into this type of dude. It just comes down to where the moment in time is, okay? And like, you guys sitting around the table just trying to predict all of that, saying, oh, well, you know, if she doesn't do this, you know, she thinks she can get the hot guy, but she can't really get the hot guy. He's not going to commit to her, bro. What? I've seen guys you guys will call you know, very attractive, or what is it, what these guys call what they're 10 in the face, is that what y'all call it, right? They're getting sprung over women that is just like, what? It's like, what? Like, this ain't even all that, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? I see it all the time, okay? And again, your personal experiences, just like mine, does not equate to the world. We're not out there, okay? It's not global, okay? It's just down to our personal experiences. But what I can tell you is happening is that average people are dating average people. That's average in looks, and that's average in income, that's average in status. It doesn't matter, okay? All this, you know, trying to, you know, oh, they're just going for the hot guys. There's some girls that avoid dating handsome men. You know, you don't believe me. There are women out there that would actually avoid handsome dudes. They would rather date guys who are not handsome. It's weird. I can't explain it. That's why I don't try to sit around figuring women out. It's not my job to sit there trying to figure out a woman. You just look at it and say, huh, now that's interesting. And you move the fuck on, right? I mean, it just is what it is. Y'all just sitting here trying to predict this is just weird, bro.
Simply put,
I love it, and I'm flooded right now.
Yeah, like this is what I predict. Like, when I see Britney Spears acting crazy, I'm like, holy shit. This is going to happen in 20 years to the 19-year-old that's all over OnlyFans, to the 21-year-old that's getting 100,000 likes on a photo. And what's even worse, these girls have no skills. At least Britney could fucking make some music.
Got money,
She got some hits. Yeah. She has some level of talent. These bitches have nothing. So when they lose their looks, how are they going to maintain their relevancy? How are they going to maintain their sanity?
How do you
We're not a bunch of crazy bitches.
Hold on. Drugs,
Xanax,
antidepressants, all that's going to happen.
SSRIs are like at record levels for women. Let me clear out some of these super chats right quick. No Fugazi podcast says shout out to all 7 of these wise gentlemen. Peace of the Saints and high level IQ conversation. Wish I was there, but I'll be there in 2 weeks. Much respect. Yes. And then I've got Weaponry Fitness says, thank you for the $50 super chat. He says, it's always a pleasure listening to all the excellent men on the panel. Stay gold. And then Nuke says, the utopia isn't your utopia. They lost the fight. Why do you think they will win the rematch? Tradconism was destroyed by the non-reversible process. They're not offering to save society for you. They're demanding you save it for their kids.
So let me add on is a very important fundamental thing that Mike hit on and you did as well. And that is because of technology, because of economic production, back in the day, women did need men to survive. And that's what brought us together on a genetic bioevolutionary thing. Then you had the Industrial Revolution, Agricultural Revolution, even technology. You guys were on that. You guys were way ahead of that.
Ahead of our time, bro.
Yeah, way ahead of your time. Yep. Yeah. And anyway, so because, and I've said it before, women really don't need men anymore, not to survive. You throw in the welfare state and everything like that. And not
enough guys know that women don't fucking need you anymore.
Right.
What? Wait a minute. That wasn't what y'all was saying a couple years ago. Y'all was saying, hey, women are gonna die alone or buy a dog if they don't settle down with a high value man. That's why y'all pushed heavily this high value concept. Now, fast forward, it's 2024. Well, I told you guys, women don't need you anymore. What? Wait a minute now. That's a little bit interesting of a reversal here. Glenn Lawrence, shot you for the 5. Glenn says, being a former member of Rule Zero, I have an opinions on this topic. What's your opinion? I mean, this is just a weird combination of people, if anything else, bro. This is what it is. I don't know why you would have Fresh and Sus Marquardt in any of a conversation you consider serious. KS with the 5. Shout out to you. KS says, mystery from the PUA is being interviewed by FNF. When is it today? When, tomorrow? When are they being interviewed? Who's? Yeah. Was pickup artists really? Are they trying to revive pickup artistry? Ugh. I mean, oh my goodness, bro. I mean, if in a way, they're kind of doing it still, right? With these courses they're selling on how to DMs on the man, right? It's pretty much pickup artistry. So it's just in a course form now, I mean, I guess. But yeah, I mean, come on. Why am I not surprised? Tony, shout out to you, says, yo, sup, Duke? Lucario and Steve have exposed the red pill, came from PUA community, and complained that women played them and they have no game. Bro, I'm telling you, a lot of men, you know, what I see right now, even with this podcast we're watching, right, when they're talking about how, oh, yeah, you know, women don't need men anymore and things like that, right? I tell you, when he's saying, oh, well, in the future, you'll have a bunch of women, you know, looking back and regretting all this, right? And it's like, dog, I think that's what's happening to the men now. That's why a lot of these platforms who are talking about this exist, because men are looking back, and a lot of them, some of them just, you know, they're just either regretting or they're just, you know, angry or something, bro. But like the amount of attention and time they're putting into this alone, right? It's startling. It really is, right? So it tells you that the reversal is actually happening here. It's a bunch of these guys, you know, going back and thinking, man, you know, I wish times were different. You know, I hate the times now. I wish it was easier. You know, and it's like, yo, no. The thing about it is, men, no matter what, even back then, the average guy still cheated. They cheated on their wives with prostitutes. Not saying that the women didn't cheat too, but cheating was a thing. It just is what it is, right? So then you go into relationship and getting women. Well, back then, men necessarily didn't need game, right? So they got off on their income. Now, fast forward when, you know, things started to equalize, then they came out with this, you know, gamey pickup artist type shit, right? And these guys will go around using these cheesy lines because they know, you know, sometimes you talk real sweet to a woman and, you know, the world will open up for you. And honestly, I don't know how y'all are missing this important lesson, right? Sometimes you just got to be really, really sweet to a woman. That's it. Like y'all would think, oh, dope, being sweet to a woman, that is a simping thing to do. I'd rather just be high value and have the bitch respect me. That's not how that works, dog. You got to be nice, kind, and whisper sweet things to her, bro. Like things to make her really imagine and get her head spinning. I'm gonna tell you this right now, bro. That's the easiest way to do it. And you start off with a nice little compliment, meaning you got to genuinely find something about her that you find attractive, hell, even sexy. All right. And you got to be bold enough to actually step to her and put that pressure on it. It's not that hard. I don't get it why y'all are struggling. It's really not that hard. Just put that pressure on her. And that pressure is basically just looking at her, telling her what you like about her, and then, you know, moving it on to either, you know, getting the digits or something else. It's really not that complicated, right? But these guys overcomplicate it, and some of these guys don't even have that confidence to even approach, yet alone tell a woman what they like about her in a manner that's gonna be appealing to her ears. And this is where you guys fuck up. You listen to these guys, hard-ass Myron over here, who shoots bricks all day. We know he ain't got game. What makes you think listening to him is gonna get you to the box? This guy, we watched them do an E-date, bro. It was abysmal. It was horrible, right? Again, these guys, I've seen a bunch of dudes who don't understand women circle jerking in a literal round table with the jizz all over the place, talking about, oh, well, this is how you get women. Blah, blah, blah. It's freaking stupid, right? But shout out to you. Yo, Muad'Dib with the 5. Shout out to Muad'Dib. Muad'Dib, this is brought to you by you. Shout out to you. Beauty says, more importantly, why is Fresh there? I don't know. I never know why he's there. He shouldn't even been invited here. He doesn't add anything to the conversation, chat. I'm being real with y'all. He doesn't add anything to the discussion. Matter of fact, the only thing he adds to this discussion that was, you know, worth discussing and by worth, meaning, you know, it's not worth it to discuss it. It was just adding to their bullshit conversation, was a video. He just brought up a video about a woman praising Fresh and Fit, and that was it. That was the most contribution Fresh ever had to the show. But other than that, he's useless. Again, we're still out here trying to find his value. That's just is what it is. But I hope we find it. It's taking up space. Can't even say even, ladies. And final thoughts. What is his use? Honestly, more deep, the more and more I'm starting to look at Fresh, the more and more I'm starting to realize he is useless. But I think we already kind of knew that, okay? But it's coming more and more reality because, you know, at first we kind of knew it and we've called Fresh out on it, but we just joked about it. But after we started reacting to the videos of even their audience saying Fresh is useless, I kind of felt bad, Chad. I'm not going to lie, because I'm like, damn. Even your fans feel like this, bro. It's not looking good for y'all. But shout out to you. Let's continue.
Like, I think guys, they literally say that on your show constantly. Hell, I had this held freaking Dr. Phil that exact same day.
They really don't. But sorry.
But anyway, they do not need men. And what younger men have to realize, I don't care how long marriage has been a tradition, I don't care what your religion is saying, women are absolutely different now. And that was one of the main things for me to measure in the book of Numbers was what percentage of women are marriage material. It's 2.7%. You can question my methodologies. That's a separate.
I'll sign off on that.
Sounds like a good estimate.
It's bro science. Okay, the 2.7%, he came up with that. I don't even know who this clown is, but you're not going to find that with any reputable research companies anywhere. That's why they're like, oh, yeah, hey, listen, I'll take it. I'll buy it. I'll buy your research, right? It's like, bro, again, you're coming up with all these bro science to try to pad your knowledge base, make it look like to your audience you know what you're talking about, but you guys don't. You're just making bullshit up. This is literally the definition of trust me, bro.
Can you tell them real quick, like how you can?
Well, there are three ways.
Yeah,
okay, but
real quick, it's actually amazing how you did it.
There are three ways, but the one I think you're referring to is the deal breaker method, where I took
multiple tattoos, mental illness,
bad finances, another man, kids, obese, and I forget the other three or four.
How can you calculate the rate based off of that? Yeah, she has tattoos. Yeah, she's obese, and she's got multiple kids. Yeah, no. I could tell just by looking at you, it's not going to work out. What the fuck? How are you coming up with that, bro? It don't make any sense, bro. The overwhelmingly amount of women the guys end up with right now are single moms, right? Especially like younger guys who are coming up, right? It's what I'm seeing. Even older people, single moms are winning right now, okay? And you can call it whatever you want to call it, okay? Because you guys said, oh, well, you know, you're not supposed to be with single moms. Look at your friend Donovan. Look who he's married to. The stats are right there in your face, bro. You can't miss it. A single mother divorcee. Listen, that's just what's out there, okay? So you putting your numbers together and saying those are the reasons why they're not going to work. Bro, again, this is what I mean by bro science, okay? None of this shit's verified.
All very fair deal breakers, by the way.
Those are low standards.
I have some really fun friends who have multiple tattoos, and they all have mental illness.
Right. There are women with multiple tattoos. They still find themselves a man. Some of them are even married. So what does that mean? What are you guys trying to say? How is his methodology for calculating this making any sense? Oh, yeah, this is the percentage of women who are not marriageable. And I got this percentage by saying that if she has tattoos, if she's got kids, if she's obese, all right, I mean, this is just what it is, guys. I mean, it's science. Come on. Bro, what? Why? Dude, this shit frustrates me, Chad. I could feel a migraine just popping up from the back of my head right now. It's making its way to the center of my forehead. I know it, bro. This is annoying. Where do you come up with these stats? That doesn't make any sense. Bro, they're obese women that are married right now. And guess what they're married to? Obese men. Some of them are just regular dudes. They don't even have to be obese, but they're dudes who are into that. Okay, there are tons of guys who are with single mothers, and there are even more dudes who are married to women who are tattooed. Your numbers, your crunching numbers is not based on any factual shit whatsoever. This is literally, trust me, bro. I know what I'm talking about. They're like, what?
So real quick, can you watch that? For the Tradcons that are watching this right now that criticize us and hate us or whatever, let's look at the numbers.
Me and Jake over here like, I don't know.
So right now they're going after the Tradcons because the Tradcons apparently, the Tradcons and the Red Pillars or the Manosphere guys, they're butting heads right now, right? Because again, I'm telling you, listen, I don't care what you think about. Your ideology is not going to work for future generations. It's not adaptable, and ideas that are stagnant are doomed to die in history. It's not coming back. It's dead. It's been stagnant for a long time. Society is evolving, okay? And partially it's not through our making. It's because the economic conditions right now and the social conditions right now is forcing us to adapt. Even the technological advances we're making is speeding up that process. So society has to evolve, which means the way we date has to evolve. So the old way of saying, oh, that woman, she has tattoos on her body, so therefore she is impure, she has mental illness. That's not the case, bro. There are tons of girls with tattoos. I've dated tons of girls with tattoos and they're loyal as fuck. Okay, and I've dated girls with tattoos who weren't loyal to me, right? That's just life. Having tattoos it's not an indicator of mental illness. Oh, okay, I got tattoos. So is that the opposite? Is that the same for a man or is it the opposite for a man? So are men with tattoos, are they considered mentally ill? Like what? Oh, Chineke. What is this? I'm so I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna just let this video play. I can't keep breaking this down because honestly, if you don't get this by now, there's no help for you.
He said 5 or more. Did you say? You said 4 or more tattoos.
But anyway,
women-based tattoos, but yeah, date them.
But and that's a good point to make. Is for anyone who is religious or you're very traditional, I'm like, okay, for a second, set aside your traditionalism or your religion and view it more as an actuary or a statistician would. And I had an actuary audit my figures. Look at it like an insurance risk pool. Please go get that book, read the number. You know, you can just look at the numbers. You don't have to read anything. But my point is what I'm trying to convey to men. Well, maybe Rollo was because he's old. But do you guys remember when high school students could bring guns to school because there's either a marksmanship club or they were going to go hunting?
I missed out on that.
My country in Texas, you could shoot downstairs. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, so that young people are not responsible enough for that.
Yeah.
They are simply not. Wow. And women are no longer responsible enough for marriage. It just generally speaking, because the environment has changed.
So I have a theory.
What about all the young men going on these school shooting sprees? So wait a minute. So you get the stupid example of, well, you remember back in the day where young men were able to bring their guns to school for target club and shooting and whatnot. You know, nowadays, women are no longer responsible for marriage. I don't know how you even got to that leap. But part of the reason a lot of guns are being banned and they don't have them in schools anymore is because we had a bunch of frustrated young men going around massacring kids at schools. Okay, we got was it the Virginia Tech? We got Columbine? The Columbine with them 2 weirdo kids walked into a school and massacred everybody. Yeah, they brought guns to school, okay? It's because these were young men who were frustrated with their own lives and they went ahead and did it. Now, you can say, well, women did it too. Yeah, but it wasn't to the same rates as our young boys were throwing that shit. They were out here murdering their fellow students, okay? So I'm not even saying that's the main reason why guns should be in school. But if we're going to finish up on this dumbass's example right here, okay, you're not just going to make that leap with, young men back in the day used to bring guns to school and then jump into saying, oh, well, this is why women are not responsible for marriage anymore. Huh? No. If you want to finish your logic, yeah, now kids who are young men are mass shooters right now, overly represented right now, okay? So, yeah, it's probably a good idea to make sure that young men shouldn't probably bring guns to school because young men are now irresponsible with guns, okay? And even going back to your marriage point, well, guess what? They got to be married to men, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. A lot of men are not marriage eligible right now. Either emotionally speaking, they're not mature. Financially speaking, they're not mature, okay? Economically speaking, they're not ready for it, okay? So, again, all this shit is just circle jerk nonsense to turn around and say, hey, look at the women. I mean, there's no hope. There's not even hope for the men, because how are the men, poor men, gonna find eligible, marriageable women in today's society? It's not working anymore. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, what are we doing here? You guys are so pathetic. This guy and his shitty numbers. I don't know who this guy is, but dude, you're a fucking idiot. And everybody sitting here praising your shit, they're dumbasses too.
So women need marriage classes and men need like gun classes.
So we interviewed, let's say, I want to say altogether, maybe like over 5,000 girls.
All of us. Everybody here. Oh, yeah.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
So
easily,
here's my theory, especially with today's, I want to say women's behavior today. So ultimately, women do what they do regardless. You know, this is a new modern day society. They do what they think is right in their head. But my thing is, for a man, I've found that a woman will only do what you tell her to do if she respects you. Yes. So, for example, the bottom 100%. Line here is like, if you want to test a woman for a good wife or good tenant to be with you, for example, long term, I would say she's going to do behaviors by herself to get to you. But unless she listens to what you say, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. So that to me is a golden rule there as well. I don't know if you.
What the fuck was? Take that mic. Somebody take that mic from him. What was the point of you saying what you're going to say? Hey, listen, bozo. No one wants to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't respect them. Matter of fact, that should be one of your boundaries. Okay, if they don't respect you, it's probably not going to be a good relationship. That's an obvious that people should know. Okay, if you're in a relationship and your partner does not respect you, you're the idiot for staying. I'm just being real, okay? So again, you just say, well, I mean that's my input because you gotta. I mean, for her to do what you say, she's got to respect you. That should be a prerequisite to going into a relationship. You know what I mean? So wait a minute, do you guys just get into a relationship with any woman and then find out they're disrespecting you later? Why don't you find out at the fact-finding stage of getting to know them phase? Why don't you just start out there? You would find out if they respect you or not right then and there. And while you're dating and you find out they don't respect you, you should probably figure something else out. Okay, it's not working. See, what I find out with you guys is you put yourself in these fucked up situations on purpose. Okay, and then when the woman does you wrong, you act like you didn't see it coming, and then you turn around and go on the internet and say, why me? I loved her. I love her so much. The bitch took everything. You're all crying, but you saw the signs. You just ignored it. Okay, one thing men and women are good at is ignoring red flags. Fresh, you didn't add anything freaking exclusive, bro. I take this guy's mic away, please.
If you guys
like 100%.
I gotta add one in. Yeah, because there are a lot of women, especially gentlemen such as you all, who are in position. Oh, they're gonna perform.
Yes,
of course. Yeah, it's like that job interview. You're like, do you know how to program in Python? They're like, absolutely. They're gonna.
Do you know how to program an NFT? Talk about working on Python. Forget Python. Can you show us how to create an NFT for the command line? Y'all forgot that's the enough T motherfucker right there. Him, the enough T guy right here. All right. So talking about Python, you keep that programming language out your mouth. We don't want to hear any of that until you show us how to make an NFT from the command line, my boy. What you talking about? It's like Python, like programming. Just stop. All right. Just because these guys are complicit in your scamming ways, not us. You're not a technologist, okay? You're an idiot. Let me just play that one more time, dog. Listen to what this clown says.
I gotta add one in. Yeah. Because there are a lot of women, especially gentlemen such as you all, who are in position. Oh, they're gonna perform.
Yes, of course, yeah.
It's like that job interview. You're like, do you know how to program in Python? They're like, absolutely. They're going to do what they can to get in position. But I learned the greatest test in addition to that. That's a necessary one. Yeah. Observe how they react when they're disappointed.
When you tell them no.
Disappoint them.
When you say no.
Yeah. And then,
with that same logic, observe how these men react when they're disappointed. If we flip that same logic to y'all don't look like marriageable prospects or dateable prospects, because all y'all act like flat out children when y'all get disappointed. Either you cry, you throw tantrums. We've seen Myron do it multiple times. Matter of fact, Sus Marquardt, we've seen you shut down completely when you get disappointed. Like that last episode with them two OnlyFans girls were cooking your ass. All right? So we've seen what happened disappointments when you bozos get disappointed. And y'all don't look like dateable characters. Okay, even OnlyFans women wouldn't date you organically. Okay, so that's Mark Wide. So what are you talking about? Again, yeah. These people, bro. Yo, John, shout out to you for the 5. John says, did you know that Sharp has a reaction to Lady Sus Squad on whatever? Oh, based on that thumbnail, it don't look good for Lion Source. It was this. Well, hang on. God damn, bro. Chat. Y'all don't know how hard it is doing this show with this tempo, being sick, bro. I'm not feeling right, but the show must go on. All right. But how recent is this show, John? Is this a recent show? Is it new? Because then we don't have to put that on the calendar. Matter of fact, if it's recent, because we reacted to a video of Sharp exposing Sus Marquardt, but I don't think he did it on whatever podcast. He was in a room or something like that. So if this is true and it's recent, we might have to move that up the schedule, bro. We might have to move that up the schedule. We might have to react to it soon enough. But shout out to you, John. I appreciate the update. A cocktail hour with Catrice. Shout out to you for the 5. Cocktail says, hey, dude, correct me if I'm wrong, but a real alpha man don't normally sit around and gossip like women, right? This is beyond cringe. No, we don't do this at all. None of my niggas sit around talking. I mean, if we go somewhere and we have some kind of escapade or something like that, we'll just about it now and then. But it's not something that we'll just sit around and have like literally solid discussions of, well, you know, listen, I mean, this is probably the dating market and women, you know, I don't know why they choose these. No, it's usually it's usually done in offhanded comments like, yo, did you see Rebecca? She was with Phil. That ugly ass dude pulled her. Can you believe that shit? Damn, how the fuck did he do that with his ugly ass? And then we'll probably roast him for a little bit, but then afterwards, that's it. We're not sitting around just trying to map out why it's going on and like the evolutionary psychology and biology of dating. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what? Hey, bro, we just move on to the next thing. Or sometimes we just around each other and we're on our phones, or it's just, you know, dead ass silent. I mean, it is what it is. If there's nothing to talk about, you know, we just don't talk. It just is what it is, bro. There's such things as enjoying people's companies, right? That's it. I mean, I don't think people know how to do that nowadays. But yeah, we don't sit around and just gossip like queens about women all day. And I talk about this all the time. See, y'all pill poppers, y'all want to talk about us, making us look like we're some kind of lames for covering these fuckery over here. But we're not. Listen, we would rather clown y'all than sit around and gossip about women all day. Look at this. I mean, look at this. These are supposed to be high-value men, high-value multi-millionaires, supposedly, and this is what they choose to spend their time doing, gossiping like little queens about why women don't want them. I mean, I don't even understand what kind of world we're living in anymore, Cocktail Hour. It don't make no sense, really.
Then see how forgiving they are. And that lets you know the stickiness of the woman. Is she a flighty woman?
Yeah. You can also add to that.
Say the
watch how she behaves around people that can do absolutely nothing for her.
Yeah.
See how
Tell me more about that one, Rollo.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Who can do
Expand, sir.
absolutely nothing for her. I mean, it's one thing. Like I hear the reason I came to that conclusion was is that there's a lot of women who will say, well, I always make sure and see if the guy will tip, or he'll be like rude to the waiter, or he'll be rude to the store clerk or some shit like that, and trying to impress me by being an asshole with them rather than like, you know, understanding, like being personable to all the rest. I thought, how does that apply to women?
Okay.
And like we have this one example where we talk about like, yeah, you know, did you go to CVS before you came into the show today? Yeah. Did you mention, do you remember the short Filipino guy that was stocking the shelves before? And no, you didn't, because he's invisible to you. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do women relate with people who can do absolutely nothing for them?
You want to hear something interesting? I literally came to this like yesterday, this realization, and it just hit me. Like, I've noticed this trend, but now I'm like solid in it. We do this thing. We tell the girl, do you think it's easy to attract a woman as a man? And they say yes. And that's okay. I want you to be the guy, and I want you to pick up Fresh or me or whatever.
Freshina.
Right? Yeah, whatever. And I'll replace the girl, and I'll give them honest, genuine, normal female objections. Can I get your number? I have a boyfriend. Oh, you know, not playing hard to get, maybe not being as talkative, where you have to generate the conversation, etc. It's amazing how the women almost always default. Well, and they'll be like, oh, well, she ain't interested. Immediately start offering money. Immediately start being a trick. Immediately start being a simp, etc. And then I'm like, well, what are you doing? You're a regular guy. What do you mean I'm a regular guy? What? No, aren't I 6'5" and a millionaire? No, like, no, you're a fucking regular guy. Pull her up at the supermarket, and they have no concept because to them, regular guys don't exist.
Invisible.
They don't.
Where are you getting this idea from? Okay, who's dating all these average guys then? I mean, think about this. Because to these women, regular guys don't exist. Bro, you're high. You're fucking high, dude. Regular guys are all over the place, and guess what? Women are dating them. Ask Rollo Tomassi, right? Who would you rather with the woman rather date, right? Would the woman rather date a high-value millionaire or a pool boy? And oftentimes they choose the pool boy, right? According to Rollo, that's true. So which is it? Y'all can't even define what value women want. Okay, yeah, you're all here trying to speak in absolutes. Yeah, because women. I mean, think about it. They just don't have any concept of it. They don't get it because we get it. Shut up. What are you talking about? Yo, BK Standard 88, shout out to you for the 5 cents. I just got my IT infrastructure library and A+ from Western Governors University. Shout out to you, bro. Listen, I'm telling y'all right now. Listen, I don't know about this high value shit these people are talking about. Okay, but there are tons of fields you can get into right now that can make you money as just a regular average guy, okay? Because guess what? There are blue-collar works out there that are looking for men to help build the world that these red pillars pretend to do, okay? They're looking for it. They just can't find the men out there, all right? And one of those things, too, that is booming is IT. I talk about this all the time. I work in IT. I know some of the guys, you guys are in the chat right now. You guys are trying to get jobs in IT. I'm telling you right now, it is going to be the future, all right? And even just going off one of the answers that I gave one of you guys that asked me, right? It was Isaiah, I think it was you, right? It's just one of those things where, listen, it's such a massive field with so many different sectors. It's going to be ever expanding. You got cybersecurity, you got networking, you got all these different things, right? Tech writing, you even got IT, right? Infrastructure libraries where you can help companies put together structures so they can build stable IT systems for their businesses. Listen, there's so many different areas that you can get into. Is not even funny, right? Even just getting down to administering ticketing systems like ServiceNow, right? I think ServiceNow is a pretty big one for most infrastructures out there, right? I know we use ServiceNow. That's a pretty big one, right? Again, just even learning how to administer that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars a year they'll pay you for it, okay? So it's such a massive, expansive field, man. Anyone that's telling you that it's oversaturated, they're probably just in one field, and it's typically web design. I often see that web design or things like that are usually saturated with the most amount of people, but typically IT is all over the place. You can even get into the blue-collar version of IT, right? I call it field support, right? Where you go out there, you're laying cables down, or you're literally setting up IT or network infrastructures, right? That, to even have your computer connect to a computer across the world, it takes a series of networks and connections to be able to get to that server, okay? To be able to even being able to build and lay down the physical cables that go under the water, the ocean, to do this, bro, pays big money. I tell y'all right now, this get rich quick online, these people are telling you, it's listen, I'm not saying it's bullshit. I'm just saying most of it is, okay? If you want a stable, long-term job, get into IT or some kind of field, okay? Trust me, it's gonna work out well for you. But shout out to you. Bro, I'm glad that this is working for you. I mean, I'm glad that you got this. This is really good, man. But share the word, spread the word. I think the more people, young men out there that can get into fields like this, the better. Okay. But I mean, but shout out to you, bro. Don, shout out to you for the 5. Don says, Duke, women get tats for attention. Also sent the super chat to Alex Playing with Fire. It said, Jasmine, if you need to see how sus Marquardt is scamming, see Duke the Don. Yo, shout out to, Jasmine exposed the crap out of him, bro. And listen, she got that dude sweating like it was no tomorrow, bro. Dude was about to butt ass himself. Like, that's how bad that shit was, bro. But yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. And this guy who couldn't even handle 2 OnlyFans girls on the show, he expects us to believe he was some kind of pimp at some point. I mean, come the fuck on, bro. Like, I wasn't born yesterday, my dude. But shout out to you, Don.
Don't exist. And I think because there's a couple of dark truths that men just need to fucking accept, right? And even the Tradcons need to accept this shit. Most women don't need you anymore. They're more educated now than ever before, and they've ever been, and they make more money than they ever made. Then on top of that, religion, right? Most girls aren't religious anymore. A lot of these chicks are fucking hoes. And then on top of that, they don't want normal guys because if they don't need you to provide for them, well, what's left?
The guy they want.
Bam.
Right.
Not the guy they need.
They'd rather be a side. They'd rather be a side chick for the guy they
Exactly.
like than date some guy they don't.
That
Well,
part.
you went even through the numbers when
Jason
we went
Momoa. That's
editing your book.
Alan
Yes.
Richardson.
Because you
One
we went
literally
through
said that to me.
Yeah.
Was that?
Jason Momoa. I don't even know who these people are.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah.
They want Jack Reacher. That's what they want.
So there's one thing. There's one thing I found was fascinating. So Marilyn Monroe had a mental disorder,
Clearly.
diagnosed, but Marilyn Monroe's mother had the same mental disorder, and her grandmother had the same mental disorder. And the reason why you ask yourself, like, what's the deal there? Well, they were attractive enough to where these men looked past that. So there's no selection pressure for a woman. So consider a woman being autistic and a man being autistic. A woman being autistic, if she's still really attractive, will have children and she will have men pursue her. So there's no selection pressure against.
They're autistic dudes right now with girlfriends. What are you talking about, my guy? This doesn't make any sense. Yo, Don, shout out to you. Says Alex P. Playing with Fire says Sus was asking 2K for an interview. Yo. Hey, why don't you just take that 2K you scammed off your fans and pay Alex for the interview? Oh, no. He was asking Alex for 2K. Why would he need 2K? He already scammed his fans for $2,000. Why would he need it? Why? That's hilarious, bro. Because he knows he's going to get fucking exposed. That's why he does it. The guys like that, they don't want to go into interviews where people are going to ask tough questions, okay? Because if you ask tough questions, they might expose themselves, and they don't want to do that. Yo, Don again. Let's get a W in the chat for Don. With the $2 super chat, Don says, also watch Maureen's last date on grilling beta. All right, send me the email for it because it's gonna be hard for me to find it just because I have like a lot of things going on. Don't forget I have like a funeral and stuff that we're taking care of, so you know I got a lot on my plate, and now I got sick, so it's like I'm being punished for some goddamn reason. I don't know why, all right? But send it to me so you have like quick access, okay? Listen, if you send it to me by email, I'll probably react to it if it's good. But shout out to you. John with the $20 super chat. Let's get a W in the chat for John. John says, as a data science major, this dude is bullshitting. You can't quantify that kind of data and call it factual. Facts. What is this guy's name? What is his name again? I forgot what his name was. I think it's Aaron or some bullshit like that, right? But yeah, it's like, how do you come up with that number, that 2.something% or how many percent that he came up with of women aren't marriageable? And he says, well, listen, it's because you look at the tattoos, okay, and the obesity and the single motherhood. I mean, clearly it just makes them unmarriageable. But yeah, there are men marrying single mothers right now. Oh, well, but still. Like, how do you even quantify that? Again, it's just bro science. It's all bullshit. He says it's based on bias and it's trying to make research match the already perceived conclusion. Yes, this is the matrix at work, people. This is what I mean when I tell you the matrix is at work. They will manipulate data. They will manipulate research just to prove a point that that you guys already had a preconceived notion on. Okay, and it is honestly sad because you see a lot of men throw relationships away because they think that reality is whatever these bullshitters say it is, and it's not. Again, ask yourself, who really is stuck in the matrix here, and you'll find the question now, or the answer to the question now. Charles Sindig, where have you been? Shout out to Charles. Charles says, what the F is this? It is like that movie Little Rascals scene with that club, the He-Man Girls Hater Club. Facts. They just sit, they're literally, yo, Charles. These guys literally are sitting in a round table trying to figure out why women wouldn't date men. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the law. It's like a little freaking club. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be a part of this nonsense. This seems weird as hell. KS with the 2. Shout out to you. It says statistics does not reflect real life. Facts. It's bro science, bro. It's all bro science. None of that. Like, that's why we used to go at Rollo really heavy, bro. We used to go at him really heavy because a lot of his books and a lot of the shit that he talks about that is research isn't really research, which is bro science disguised as research. Oh, well, I'm referencing Dr. David Buss. Well, Dr. David Buss doesn't even stand behind that whole hypergamy bullshit anymore. Okay, he even said he didn't know what the fuck was going on, and he even left that shit. What does he do now? Is he like some kind of pastor or some shit? I don't know. But like, he didn't even claim that shit no more. But yeah, y'all still out here quoting. Oh yeah, well, Dr. David Buss, right? I mean, just shut the fuck up. I mean, that's what these guys do. It's just nothing but weird science. Yo, Pearl's inflatable titty. What the? Pearl's inflatable titties. It says Myron and his receding toupee and freshest submissive simp can't understand that regular women like regular men. Facts. These guys are saying, well, regular women wants a Jack Reacher guy, like someone who's super buff and muscular. It's like, bro, I'm gonna tell you that's not true. They might find muscular guys attractive, but dating them, no. Some, believe it or not, some women have that notion where they automatically assume that attractive guys are just cheaters, and they just wouldn't date you just out of precaution for themselves. And oftentimes they might be right. Who knows, right? Who knows what kind of past experience they had to lead to them having that kind of conclusion? But that's what often happens, and these guys don't know that. I've ran into that. That's how you know these people don't have experience. Right? They're like, being physically attractive isn't the end all be all for a woman thinking about you as a valuable dating prospect. Okay, you can be scrawny as fuck, and she'll still date you. Look at the guy Destiny's girl left him for. Okay, some scrawny dude that looked like he was the discount Ezra Miller. Okay, I mean, think about it. He wasn't built. He didn't have anything particularly special about him. And on top of that, he wears dresses. I thought that was something that women don't like. I thought women wanted manly men. And here she is leaving a multi-millionaire like Destiny for a guy who wears dresses and looks like discount Ezra Miller, who also wears dresses. So again, it just shows you that women, sometimes they'll date a masculine man, and sometimes they don't mind dating a guy who wears a dress. You don't understand them. It's not our job to. It's a job to just enjoy the moment we share with them. That's it. All right. Whether it's a relationship or whether it's just temporary, enjoy the moment, because that's all life is. It's about the moment we live in. Okay. Because you can't live in the future. It's just a concept. You can't go back to the past because, as far as you know, it doesn't exist anymore. It just exists in your memories. Once you die, the past dies with you. Okay. It is what it is, bro. You only exist in the moment. We are momentary creatures trapped in this moment of time, just like we're watching right now. Okay. Listen, future generations are going to see this video, but we won't be alive to see it. All right, but we know when we were alive, in the moment, today, tonight, when we were streaming this, y'all in the chat right now, that's what we live for, not this bullshit future. Like, y'all, again, you're absolutely right. These guys, they don't get it. They don't get it at all. They don't even understand the basic fundamental concepts of what life is supposed to be about. Right? None of them do. It's just weird. Porsche 911 fan, shout out to you with the $10 super chat. Porsche says, "What is up, Duke? I didn't get the job. How can I stay motivated? It feels like making a jump to IT was a mistake. I understand why people want to be YouTubers now. It was my 8th interview as well. You have to start in a so first of all, what type of position are you trying to get into? And honestly, it would be easier to get into a position directly below that, or something that's lateral, right? Because you need a starting point. Because oftentimes when you jump into it, either you need to get the right certification for the field you're getting into, or you just need to start off, at the level below it, right? So, for instance, right, my goal is to end up in network architecture, right? So that's my eventual goal. But right now, I work in desktop. Okay, so that's completely different from where I want to go to. So I have to work extra hard. Even though I have the certifications, even though I have everything I need to put together, I still, where I'm at right now, need to work my way through it. But at that point, I'm building work experience. Is it going to take a bit? Yeah, it's going to take a little bit, right? But that's part of the grind. I had to start somewhere where obviously I was overqualified for, but don't really, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got to work your way up. And even in the spot I'm in right now, the upward mobility is very slow because people tend to stay in here for a very long time. Like, people don't move because it pays well, the benefits are great, everything's awesome, right? So it's harder for people to get off. So I know for a fact that if I need to get to my goal for this particular company, I gotta wait, or I can make the lateral movement, right, to a different company. That's just how that works. So again, right now you just have to strategize on how to get to where you need to be, right? So instead of maybe aiming directly to that, maybe you just need to get your foot in the door with the company and then work your way up, right? I would try that strategy. So maybe might not be the position you want or you directly qualify for, but you will eventually get there because you already have the certifications. You're sitting on it. So now you need a position to open up. And once you get that spot, if the pay doesn't work out, you can make a lateral move movement. I hope that helps. But if you have more questions, email me, bro. I'll talk to you about it, bro. Great Pill with the super sticker. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. Let's continue.
Her passing on her genetics. A man with the same issue, autism, his ability to procure resources and to be charismatic around a woman is greatly lessened, and therefore his ability to spread his genetics is much less. So what we're seeing, we used to have selection pressure for bigger, stronger men. They would have more children because they would be able to be more productive, and they would have bigger, stronger children. And since 98% of the U.S. population was agricultural back in the 18th century, there was big, strong men who had more kids. So testosterone levels were higher. We've done measurements where testosterone levels have dropped since the 1950s. So now what we see is as these men who are more technologically savvy and do jobs that don't require a lot of testosterone, the selection pressure is not there's no selection pressure against them. So now we have more babies that have lower testosterone. That's one of the reasons why men in general have lower testosterone.
What? Wait, hold up. Let me run that explanation back. What the fuck is he saying?
Is much less. So what we're seeing, we used to have selection pressure for bigger, stronger men. They would have more children because they would be able to be more productive, and they would have bigger, stronger children. And since 98% of the U.S. population was agricultural back in the 18th century, there was big, strong men who had more kids. So testosterone levels were higher. We've done measurements where testosterone levels have dropped.
Back in the day, 18th century, 17th century, people were a lot smaller than human beings today. They weren't big, strong men unless you were like in Norway or Denmark or some of these Nordic countries where they had practically giant Vikings, or even in Germanic countries, or even Frankish countries where a lot of these guys back then were a lot bigger in size compared to everyone else. But even then, compared to modern humans now, we're technically a lot smaller because the diet wasn't that easy to come by. For us, food is easy now. We live a lot better lives than kings back in the day, in the 18th century, 17th century, even 16th century. We live a lot better lives. The poor person here lives a better life than the average king back then, okay? We have access to more food in the Western country, so we can eat more, we can grow more, and we can be stronger. But what are you talking about? People back then, they had to farm, so because they had to farm, they evolved to be bigger and stronger. No, bro. Roman Empire, a bunch of those guys were short as fuck. Way back in the day, they were fucking short, okay? And what happened when they ran into a bunch of these Germanic tribes? They're like, holy shit, these guys are tall. But were these guys tall? Like, historically, they were average height. They'd be like 5'10", 5'11", but to the average Roman height back then, it was just like, God, these guys were giant, right? Why? Because there wasn't enough resources back then compared to modern societies. So this argument doesn't even make any fucking sense. Okay, you're just trying to make the evolutionary argument because we focus on certain fields as men, we develop a certain way. No, bro, we got big boys now when we don't even know how they got big, right? We don't look at these boys in the South. You see some of these Texas high school football teams; those guys are grown ass men playing football. That's crazy.
Since the 1950s. So now what we see is as these men who are more technologically savvy and do jobs that don't require a lot of testosterone, the selection pressure is not, there's no selection pressure against them. So now we have more babies that have lower testosterone. That's one of the reasons why men in general have lower testosterone.
No, that's not. It's not, bro. It's just that we're not, most men aren't as active as we used to be. All right. On average, it's actually the diet that plays a huge role in why a bunch of men have low testosterone. The diet and the activities most men participate in. So one thing I would give you back then compared to now is maybe you could say more people were physically active back then than they are today. It's just because we have a choice not to be as physically active today compared to back then. Most people didn't have a choice. They had to walk places. They had to do things physically. It was very burdensome. Okay, so it's different, definitely different. But that's not the main reason why most men have low testosterone today. Most men have low testosterone today due to their diet, and we all know that most men, first of all, we're obese on average compared to where we need to be. Okay, and obesity also fucks with the testosterone. There are lots of things that fucks with the testosterone. Lack of sleep. Some people game into the night. Some people have, sleep issues. Some people have stress issues that will lead to your testosterone. There are a lot of different things that lead to issues in modern men and the testosterone being low on average. But I can tell you this, the birthing selection, because the society is more technology-based, isn't the sole reason, dog. Like, this is crazy to me.
But we still have to keep our word. We still have to be productive. We still have to be useful. We still have to be honest. There's still things we have to do as men in order for us to be productive so that we can procreate. For the most part, obviously, there's some deadbeat dudes out there. For women, on the other hand, in their situation, they don't. What happens is whatever they come with, whether it be schizophrenia or borderline personality disorder or whatever. My point is, in every population, those things are generally not desired and they're selected against. But if you're hot enough, they aren't. That's my point.
That's stupid. Okay, if we're gonna go back to the 18th centuries, I don't think women back then. What happens when they got raided? All right, they got raided by pirates or some shit like that, and the women got captured, enslaved, and raped. All right, was that evolutionary bred out, or is just how that works? I mean, again, this nonsense where they try to take the past and evolution to try to justify the difference between men and women today, it doesn't work. It doesn't apply to modern day. You guys just sound like you're coping. That's what this sounds like, bro. Yo, BK Standard 88 shout out to for the 2 says, I want to be in cloud security. Shout out to you. That's growing. That's growing. That's a cloud. That's a growing field right now. So, knowing that is huge, right? So, how are you with Linux? Let me know what your Linux skill levels at. But shout out to you. Cloud security is huge. It's a big, expansive field too as well, man. It's gonna get even bigger in the coming years, man. It's especially as security companies try to figure out ways to secure their data, because I mean it's the new thing right now to hold companies for ransom, with their data, because their data leaks all over the place. Making sure to be part of a team to be able to make sure that you can improve on your security measures and software is actually amazing, man. Shout out to you. Porsche 911, shout out to you for the 5 says, I'm in help desk tier 1 and trying to at least get at least a desktop, even 1.5. Can't get into it. I've been in help desk for 1.4 years. All right, so I would say, see what jobs are hiring for tier 2 or tier 3 support. And but first of all, what you got to do is figure out, analyze what you do in tier 1 support, right? Because sometimes tier 1 support is general. You can be doing stuff that involves tier 3 or tier 4 level support, right? So for instance, do you have to have knowledge on other field or other teams around you? So for instance, if you guys have a separate AV department, do you have to know their process, right? If you guys have a separate network department, I'm assuming your IT department isn't just help desk and a couple other people. I'm assuming you guys have like help desk and other departments, that connected to help desk. So do you have to have knowledge of what those other departments are? If so, that's not even, I wouldn't even consider that basic level 1 support. I would even consider that like level 2, probably higher, because now you're knowing more things than your basic field, right? So I would start calculating kind of what you do at that at your job currently, and then figure out, okay, maybe I might be eligible for level 2 type support or level 3 type support, and make a lateral movement there. Spend about 6 to 8 months. I'll probably say about another year if possible, just to keep that resume consistent, and then get into something into desktop. That would probably be your next movement. But I would say study up on there are a couple of things you're gonna need to know with desktop too as well. Hit me up because I think I got your email, and I'll let you know, because I don't want to make the show about it. But there's some things you got to know about desktop support. So even knowing some Microsoft systems too as well, like Azure, you got to know that. Even some stuff with Amazon too as well, their web services, you got to know that. Building softwares and writing scripts, deploying softwares, you're also going to need to know that too as well. So it's a different, and by deploying softwares, I mean, so you have a center system where you can manage a lot of softwares, but how to deploy it, and things like that, testing, moving things from testing to production, all these different things, you're going to need to know that. But if you don't know that at this stage, I would say go to like a level 2 or level 3 support, and then start learning scripting, start learning all these auxiliary things. So that way, when you're ready to make that application, you can get in there. It's again, one thing about tech is you have to plan a career path, because sometimes people get into help desk and they get stuck there. Sometimes people get into web services or web design and they get stuck there, but you have to plan out a path. Okay. But hit me up offline and we can even have a conversation about this. Shout out to you, bro.
They aren't. And so those things will continually get pushed on. This is, again, the whole thing I'm just saying, can put down in one sentence, don't stick your dick in crazy, because that's what sticking
No
your
one's
dick in
gonna listen to
crazy.
that, though.
Yeah, but when you stick your dick in crazy, you are
Not raw.
you are continuing.
Not raw.
You're telling
Not
me,
raw.
you're telling me bitches can't be penalized for being retarded?
Yeah, that's the thing.
This is fucked up.
Hey,
I mean,
let me
a good example, Amber Heard.
let me throw a couple things in here real quick, because I have people in the chat wondering where Andrew Wilson is today. Andrew was going to be on the panel, but he had to cancel at the last minute because he was being.
Andrew Wilson, is that the guy you let his wife start talking shit online and got bodied by a bunch of women on Twitter? Is that the same Andrew Wilson, the guy who can't even control his wife, let alone coming up here to join a conversation? What kind of nonsense is going to add to this, huh? The guy that thinks rights are only conceptual. Yeah, I mean, they're enforced by men, so definitely, I mean, it's just a conceptual thing. It's like, the guy's a retard. What are we doing here, bro? Get out of here.
Baptized this week.
Oh,
so
good
that's
job.
where, that's
There
where
you
he
go.
is right now.
Andrew's legit though.
Yeah,
Andrew
Andrew is
Andrew's
legit.
hundred.
Hey, was
People
he
saying-
smoking while they dunked him?
People saying, "Oh, this conversation would be so great if Andrew was there." I go, "I agree, 100%
So,
agree."
yeah, let me say this real quick. I've had two people ask me to have a debate with Andrew Wilson about evolutionary psychology. And what me and Andrew would really debate is evolution, not evolutionary psychology. Because Andrew and I actually probably would come to the same conclusions on a lot of things. And I like him. Like multiple people have asked me to do this. But the thing is, what you said at the very beginning, what I don't want to do is to get into a yelling match with someone who believes in Jesus and trying to say, you know, what you're saying is wrong. And so that's my only fear here in these situations, is because we're kind of like a lot of us, when we talk about Tradcons and red pill people, we're kind of on the same side, right? We're not voting for we're not voting for Biden, are we? So like, we're kind of on the same side. So like, that's the problem.
There's a reason why we talk past.
I hate this. Well, I mean, we're not Biden supporters now. Come on, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, at least we didn't vote for that guy. Who cares, bro? Like, what are y'all like? Again, y'all just got to infuse politics in everything. Who fucking cares, bro? Like, oh yeah, we're on the same side. We didn't vote for Biden. What the fuck does that even mean?
Each other though too, because we're not having the same conversations. And I think we talked about this on our podcast.
Yeah.
Is, I refer to them as believers, so it could be any religion, right? Just easier just to say believers, right? So believers tend to be more invested in moral absolutism, whereas like the red pill, at least from my experience anyways, is more about factual absolutism. So what happens is when you get a debate together, we're going to debate together. We're going to say, is God real? Is God not? You know, the red pill is leading men astray, that kind of stuff. It sounds like on the surface of it, it sounds like there's going to be some sort of like real, a good conversation come out of this. But the problem is we end up talking past each other. And the reason why we do that is because the believers tend to have a different goal than than people who are like than empiricists, right? So when I'm having this conversation with somebody, I'm saying, the red pill is not a ideology, it's not a religion, it's not praxeology. It's a praxeology is what it is. Yes. And that's the best way I can describe it, right? Because it's based in empiricism. Whereas if you're going to talk to believers and you have empiricists and believers, what happens is the believers tend to want to figure out whether you're a good person or you're a bad person. Yeah. Is it right or is it wrong? It's about best practices.
They call us degenerates.
Right. Exactly. Because you're discussing things that sound like you're endorsing these things, because just because I can discuss the worst atrocities in the world, that doesn't mean I endorse them. It doesn't mean that I'm on board with this. I want to understand.
Listen, Rollo, but when you're talking about a praxeology and you're trying to describe things based off of human behaviors, okay, this is where it gets difficult, because human beings are technically unpredictable. Yeah, we have certain pattern of behaviors we fall under, but again, most of the time we're right in the median. So again, it's just, you can't really predict if and or. Yeah, you can have these massive data sets and then you can try to make assumptions based off of that, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. So using these praxeology based off of what studies you've done on women, which we know it's bro science, okay? You're saying that, hypergamy is this, and, that's the meaning because this is how women behave. We've seen, women, leave broke guys and deal with high-value men. It doesn't work, because those same women would leave a high-value man and date a broke guy, okay? So, again, it's unpredictable. So you say, well, it's a praxeology. Okay, fine, but there are lots of flaws in that in itself. So I don't know what the hell we're talking. You can't even describe what a high-value man is. Is it a pool boy who cleans out the pool? Or is it the high-value man who owns the pool pool boy's cleaning, right? Because the woman, she would fuck the pool boy, right? According to Rollo. So does that make the pool boy a high-value man? Then if so, why don't we all just strive to be pool boys and going out during the spring and summer and cleaning out pools for hot hot mamas or hot women, single women, right? How about we go do that? Because apparently that's winning. Instead of writing courses on men to go make money, how about we just write courses on dudes teaching them how to be pool boys, right? Because be pool boys, you're a high value man. You fuck all the women of the high value men, whatever it is, right? So again, what are we doing here? You guys can't even describe or define what a high value man is. So even talking about praxeology, what is a high value man's behavior? Y'all can't even define that. So what makes you think you can define a woman's dating or sexual preferences? The fuck are we? Oh my goodness, dude! These guys frustrate the fuck out of me. I ain't gonna lie.
Understand
this is crazy.
how we got to that position
on a certain topic,
and it doesn't have to be atrocities. It could be anything, right? It could just be like especially things that people are really invested in, such as marriage, such as sex, such as having babies, such as solving their reproductive problems, right? So what happens is you have these believers who their goal is to figure out what the best practices are. What should we do? How do we solve the problem? And that's a noble goal. Don't get me wrong. And understanding what we ought to do. But the red pill's not about oughts. It's about what is. What is here in my hands. And I'm reminded of that painting by Leonardo da Vinci where it's like Socrates is pointing to the sky, and it's like I think it's Aristotle like pointing to the ground, right? So it's like what's here and what should we do kind of thing. And that's really when we have this conversation, that's really what we're talking about. And so what happens is the moral absolutists will say, well, those red pill guys are sons of bitches because
you're calling us moral absolutists. I'm glad you guys are finally acknowledging, platforms like ours, but we're not moral absolutists. You guys are the moral absolutists. That's the whole point. Y'all are telling us, right? Hey, traditional conservatism is where we need to be. All this liberal shit is fucking up society, and we're out here saying live and let live, bruh. So you're saying we're the moral absolutists. No, we're not moral absolutists. We're judging you guys because you guys are basically holding other men up or trying to hold other men up to standards you guys yourselves don't lead. Okay, you tell men, don't date these single moms, don't date these OnlyFans models, and then we look at you, y'all doing the exact opposite. But yeah, y'all try to be the morally superior people. You try to blame society, wrecking men, blaming this, but y'all out here putting OnlyFans imageries in front of these young men. In fact, the whole business model, it requires these men to go ahead and subscribe to these women OnlyFans accounts. Otherwise, it's not beneficial or economical financially for these women to even be on your podcast. So you guys are directly feeding the cycle of young men rising today with massive porn addiction issues. Yet you have the balls to turn around and call channels like us who criticize y'all moral absolutists. So get the fuck out of here, Rollo. You're a fucking moron. John, shout out to you for the 5. John says, the same Andrew Wilson who rights are only given by the strong, but is a weak fuck himself. I'd slap that old fact. Talking about rights are given and enforced by men. Bro, it looks like in your household, your wife is running your ass. So what does that make you? Like, I don't get it. It's these guys that try to pretend to be so alpha online are the biggest beta males, bro. The wife runs the household. And again, I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but someone like Andrew Wilson will sit there and try to lecture you. Well, a man, you see, needs to be a man. All right, that's why I smoke my cigarettes and talk about Christians because, rights are only enforced by men. Like, shut the fuck up. All right, it looks like the rights at home is enforced by your own wife. All right, you ain't got no say so in that. Get the fuck out of here, buddy. I mean, think about this. Yo, Generic, shout out to you for the 5. Generic says, check out the date Myra went on recently. And check out the date Myra went on recently on Standout TV. He was on the UK and brought back the vaginas are disgusting line. Really? Was it that one chick? Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. You said it again. Listen, I don't think anyone at this point believes Myron's a straight man. I think we all unanimously can agree that Myron is possibly sus. I mean, at some point, listen, at the very minimum, he probably had a gay experience at some point, okay? Because some of his talking points don't make any sense. It seems like he roots for the guys in a whole different way, dog. Hold up. Let me pull this up. This is what we think of when we think of Myron over here. All right, let me show y'all something. I'm gonna show you something real quick, okay? This is when we think about Myron, I think about this photo right here, real quick. I think about this one. And then when I see this photo right here, realizing that this guy he's hugging on and kissing on was also the guy that was in Myron's bed while dude was shirtless. Okay, it's actually gay. And nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, you got to add it with certain statements that Myron has said in the past, right? Where saying vaginas are gross, or even saying things like gay people give better head than straight women. So, it just makes one curious about the possible experiences that Byron had.
But ass.
Either way, we know there's some sus activities going on. You just can't deny it here. But shout out to you. I'm gonna check it out. John with the 5 again. Can we get a W in the chat for John? Pull in that $5 super chat. John says we have a request for some butt ass. I got you, bro. I got you right now. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. I got you right now, dog.
Butt ass.
That was for you, bro. He says, especially on Gay Ron. Oh shit, we just did it on Gay Ron too. Yo, I'm already ahead of the chat. Shout out to you. But he says, no, you're right. That dude, listen, there's no way on earth you can convince me that Myron is straight. I'm telling you right now. The more I watch him on this red pill shit, the more I think this guy, he's in a closet and he's just lashing out. That's it. Isaiah Tree, shout out to you for the 2. Isaiah says, is a computer science degree too broad or should I focus on certs? All right, computer science degree is technically broad. What a computer science degree would do, it can get you an entry-level job, and even stuff like help desk. For instance, I think Porsche 911, I think that was you that was doing help desk, right? It's enough to get you a help desk. It's enough to get you a basic level starting in certain fields, but certifications are going to take you all the way. Matter of fact, in some positions, you have to get certified, right? So if you're going to do anything with Microsoft have their own certification too as well. So you either got to take courses or actually know what's going on. If you're doing stuff with Mac has stuff going on with it too as well. So you got to know Mac systems, you got to know iOS software, you got to know all that stuff too as well, how to manage that, how to be able to deploy that, JAMPs, the server management, things like that, the system. You got to also be able to know stuff like that too as well. I don't think computer science really touches up on that, but what it does, it kind of touches up on a general. So you can learn JavaScript, you can learning how to program in Java language. I think some colleges now, they're going heavy on Python. So they go even server management and things like that, but it's very, very broad. Certifications make it very narrow. That's why even on some cases, some people don't even have to have computer science degrees, but if they're certified in certain fields, they'll be able to get that particular position because it also counts as work experience too as well. But shout out to you. Yo, Charles Indig with the $20 super chat. Charles Indig says, hey, bro, yeah, I've been recovering from a knee injury. Yo, what the fuck happened? He says, but I'm back now. I'm not sure if the red pill era is dying off. Not even close, bro. Not even close. He says, over here in the US, in Australia, it's alive and it's going strong. So many men following this clowns. Yeah, no, I don't think red pill is dying off at all. It's getting even stronger. And that's what a lot of people don't think. Like when I was talking to even one of my buddies about this, because he was complaining about this whole Andrew Tate shenanigans. I'm like, yeah, it's only going to grow. It's only going to get bigger, especially as the pendulum now. I don't think you guys really think it's happening, but we've talked about this on this channel before. The pendulum is now swinging from the left to the right. And I'm talking about socially speaking, right? A lot of people are now becoming more right-leaning. It's just how everything's going. And it's been like that. 1 minute, everything's all Democratic. The next minute, everything's super Republican. That's the pendulum is swinging that way. The problem is this alt-right shit, this red pill shit, they're jumping up on that wave and they're swinging right with it, right? And it's kind of par for the course for the rest of the world. The rest of the world is kind of becoming more towards the right, right? And some of them can go as far right, whatever you want to call it, right? But although one thing I put a stickler in is that what most people would consider far right now, I mean, it isn't really even that far right. It was what we would normally consider liberals, right? But it's the Overton window has shifted so much since the pendulum was on the other side. Things don't really mean what they mean no more. But yes, a short answer, everything's swinging towards the right, whatever that means now. And the red pillars for sure are jumping on that bandwagon, and it's only going to get bigger in the future. So people need to watch out for this trend because it's becoming a serious thing. Shout out to you for the $20 super chat. Let's get a W in the chat for Charles Indiggs. I hope you get better with that knee injury, my man. It sucks, man. Knee injuries are not the greatest. What is it? Is it torn meniscus, ACL? What's going on? Is it your patella fucked up? What's going on with that, man? Let me know. Hopefully you're doing all right, man, because I know the recovery can be crazy with those.
they believe in or they don't believe in marriage, and they don't believe in a nuclear family. They don't open on his end and closed on her end.
That's
kind
a
of
beautiful thing.
They think about those. They think about those things, and then they look at that and they go and they say, well, this is not according to my religion. This is not best practices, right? So therefore, you're a sinner and you're going to hell. As opposed to the guy who's on the opposite side, who's on the empirical side, so going, well, they're not really interested in truth. They're not really interested in an objective version of truth. And the problem with that is, without the both of those, we don't have a really kind of functioning society, because you have to know what's true before you can decide what the best practices are from that person.
You have to know the facts. Aaron, you were going to say something about
numbers. I was
going to
say it's identical, and hopefully, I don't think we're at each other's throats with Tradcons or anything like that, but to kind of show it, we're trying to help them. And it's exactly the same when I talk about worthless degrees and how women major in these horrifically dumb degrees. and minorities. But they are just as Christians hopefully would be wedded to their religion. These women are erroneously, I would argue, wedded to feminism, leftist politics, whatever, you go girlism and stuff like that. It's like, okay, but this empirical action of you majoring in dumb crap will cripple you for the rest of your life. Or we could talk about fat acceptance, the same thing. This is going to hurt you.
You're saying hurt the woman?
It's going to hurt the woman. And what I'm saying is, like, so
but not the dumb degrees. The dumb degrees make her feel better. She gets to have fun. No, the dumb degrees don't hurt at all. Yeah, because they're not going to use the degrees.
Okay, but my point is, just like we are trying to help Christian men, and if Christian women would listen, like, no, you don't understand. This is a bad risk. This is a horrible risk. This is going to hurt you. This is not in your best empirical interest. It's the same thing we try to do with women, where it's like, please don't major in dumb stuff. Please don't get fat. And if they're too blinded by their ideology, that view is like, oh, we're the enemy, and now you're called a sexist or misogynist and all that. And the point I would try to make to those in traditional communities is, yeah, okay, this applied 60 years ago. Things have changed. You have got to upgrade your weaponry and tech, because you're going to get hurt if you don't acknowledge this. I'm not saying don't get married.
Y'all want to know the reason why they're trying to appeal to Tradcons now? Because for a while, Tradcons and Tradcon women are basically, women who, I guess, mentally speaking, like to believe they're traditionally conservative, right? But the reason why this split is happening is because these pill poppers, they have their ideology now, right? Which I find ironic, because they're saying, oh, you women, or you have your ideology that's preventing you from actually, growing and seeing the future. Meanwhile, these guys are blinded by their ideology. And their ideology is based on the fact that because modern women are changing, all right, and modern women are occupying all these different spots, men also have to adapt dating-wise, meaning men have to act like little whores, right? Basically sleep with multiple women, while, the women have to, stay single, right? While they can do whatever they want, and you guys have to stay where you are. And the reason why is because, well, he's high value. What? I mean, whoa, I'm a high value man. I earned the spot. All right, so I deserve to cheat on you, okay? I mean, it's not cheating. I'm exercising my options. I mean, listen, I don't care what the fuck you call it. It's still cheating, dog. So don't get it twisted. But Tradcon women are pissed. They don't agree with this kind of messaging, but here the red pill are saying, hey, wait, don't be angry at us. We're just adapting to society. I mean, society demands that we go ahead and explore our options, because women are doing that nowadays, so we have to do it. So even though we know you want a conservative man, we're still conservative. We just want to be able to have the license to live like Western women. I'm gonna tell y'all, chat, I'm gonna be real. My throat hurts like a motherfucker right now. Like, I'm sick as fuck, but I'm really trying here. I'm really trying here, bro. But goddamn, I was supposed to do a stream yesterday. I couldn't do it because, like, yesterday was worse. I feel a little better now. But damn. Yeah, but I mean, come on, bro. This is just fucking ridiculous.
Or if you find the right, find the right girl, maybe go marry her. But the traditional means by which you were doing this, any degree is not a good degree, and marriage right now is not good. It's just too risky.
I think the trads are being tricked. Like, we hear about the trad wife. When I really think about the traditional women I know that have real traditional values, if I go live on YouTube, She doesn't want to be on camera.
He talking about Bridget. We already know what that bitch look like. She a drunk just like you.
You hear her voice and never see her. She's like the mom from the Muppet Babies.
That's a good thing to pay attention.
Right? She's like the mom from the Muppet Babies. Nah, bro. She reminds me of Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's what she reminds me of. I mean, what are we doing here? Get out of here with that bullshit,
right,
bro.
Yep. You don't see my wife has never been on a single stream.
Yeah, if your girl's trying to get all your things,
and needs no attention except from Rollo Tomassi.
Right, exactly.
Right. So the truly traditional woman would not even be on YouTube representing trad wives. That is actually a
really
TikTok thought in disguise.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's a new way of
guys.
Yeah,
real quick. I have a video I want to play real quick, and this is it's to your point actually.
Okay. It's
to highlight what's happening right now, Rollo. You might like this video too.
I might.
They pick wisely. They pick super wisely. They're highly selective with the women that they choose. And then when they've chosen her correctly, they spoil her endlessly. They put her through the ringers. It's like, you know, when you go to 6-7 rounds of an interview to get into those corporate jobs, they make you go through interview after interview after interview, a bit like going to a Harvard application. When you get to Harvard, they treat you.
This fucking background music, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's making this video look cheesy as hell.
Oh, your life is set. But up until that point, they put you through it. What Fresh and Fit teach is take any kind of woman and then don't give her too much. Play games, treat her harshly.
Oh, she hates.
Yo, this just went from cheesy as fuck to corny as hell. Yo, you got this random ass woman out here. I don't even know what when she cheated. We'll talk about all this stuff, and then you go, bro. Why you have? Again, this is to sell something. All of this is to sell something. You got this woman talking about the nature of modern relationships nowadays, okay? And then here she is referencing Fresh and Fit, apparently, right? You got this corny-ass music playing in the background, and the point of the music is to get you into a mood, okay? Now you're in a mood, and this mood is basically like, damn, you know, we just missed out on something, and, you know, it's very uplifting, and I feel as though there might be hope, but these damn women... This is how they treat us good men when we try to help them. Okay, and they don't know that when you find a good man, we will simp for you. All right, don't you listen to the music in the background? Don't that get you all pumped up, right? I mean, come on, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing here? I mean, this reminds me of these YouTube edits that are taking over YouTube Shorts now. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where either people will take clips from podcasts or they'll take clips from movies. They'll slap some kind of background music on it. Either the background music goes hard or something, and for some reason, it's supposed to, like, it gets a lot of likes and views and whatnot. So this isn't a unique Instagram thing. I'm seeing this on YouTube. I'm seeing this everywhere. But these super edits with like all these crazy fucking music behind it. What is it designed to do? What are you guys trying to do here? And honestly, this high value concept is stupid, lady. It sounds like you're just these pick-me's these guys complain about. Just being honest.
High value men do. They've got a reputation. They can't just take any old girl and then try and train her. They got time for that. They take a woman who's been well trained by her family. This is what truly high value.
So I just did a reaction video to this.
Could you believe that?
Very clip. So here's the thing. Here's where City is.
Yo, Saint the Sinner. Is that a gut? Is that a gut I'm looking at, bruh? I thought you were fit, my dude. Is that a gut, dog? Yo, hold up. What am I looking at here? What's going on? What's going on? Hold up. I might be tripping, dog. Buddy, hey, listen, as we say, you eating your money, huh? You eating your money. Hey, listen, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, you got that YouTube money flowing in from the Assassin Club. You getting a little fat. You got to work on that, dog. I don't like what I'm seeing over there.
Correct. Because what she's saying, what might have made sense like 50 years ago, but she believes that there are these high status men that have this plethora of good women to choose from. And the statistics show us different. And I think because Sadia is not a man trying to be with a high status woman, I don't think that's,
and she is not a legal psychologist either. We have established.
Neither are you, Rollo Tomassi.
I don't think
who gave her a mic,
fraud and
who gave her
Fresh? Who gave you a mic? What the fuck are we talking about here? What is these? What's going on?
Psychologist either. We have established.
I don't think.
Who gave her a mic,
fraud and
who gave her a mic?
I don't think.
Did somebody take his mic away? Who gave this to him? Who gave him a mic? That's the real question, right? Who gave him a mic? Why are you clowning that woman? I mean, she referenced you guys, so now you clowning her? Nigga, you're the one who brought the video anyways. So then now you're complaining who gave this girl a mic. Nigga, you brought her up. You're the one who recommended the video. I think we your mic away because it was completely useless, huh? You admit we. Wait, yo, wow. Chat, am I wrong here? Wasn't it just Fresh that suggested this video that they were playing with the girl, right? And the girl in the video was, bigging up Fresh and Fit. All of a sudden, when these guys are criticizing what she said, now all of a sudden Fresh is like, who gave her a mic? Nigga, who gave you a mic? You haven't made sense this entire show. Like, now you over here ridiculing a video you recommended. So what the fuck was the point of us watching the video? Huh? What the fuck was the point, Fresh? Again, you are just proving ever more how useless you are to this podcast operation. And honestly, Myra needs to start seeing exactly what the audience is seeing, all right? Because there might be some facts to this shit.
That's from her standpoint, she doesn't see it enough. I understand in a vacuum that sounds great, guys. Well, here's what we need to do. Let's all just have fucking high standards, and we'll all just have good traditional women that'll come to us. But then but that's not reality. In reality, we'll walk around and we'll meet some really fucking hot girls, and they're fucking crazy. And then we have.
I think it's harder for you to meet a traditional woman than Joe Blow on the street.
Yeah, for sure. Because the non-traditional women are I used to say this about Bilzerian. Dan might meet the hottest girl. He loves them. They totally get along, whatever. But as soon as the girl goes to the bathroom, 6 big titty strippers walk in and like push her out of the way. And that you're right. If you have
Dan Bilzerian hires the women he photo shoots with or hangs out with online. I mean, it's been a known fact for years now. I mean, everyone's exposed that he's not the ladies' man, millionaire trust fund baby that we all think he is. Buddy paid these women to be around him. Why? Because sex sells. That's why. Okay, if you got a bunch of girls around, horny men will pay you money for whatever products you're selling because they also envision themselves being around hot girls. That's simple as that. So Dan Bilzerian played the game on social media way before Fresh and Fit, and I would argue Fresh and Fit with their OnlyFans models platform setup probably took a taste out of Dan Bilzerian's recipe. Just saying. But you over here with your references, Mike Sartain. Bro, like you sound like an idiot that likes to talk a lot. That's what you're trying to sound like to me, bro.
Have more status, then it definitely becomes more difficult. Sadia Khan did say something else that I thought was interesting. It was another clip. She said that the average 19-year-old girl now has had sex with more men than the average 53-year-old woman now. She said, and it's when I thought about that, it's like that's kind of hard. That's probably true. Yeah, the average 53-year-old woman. About average 53-year-old woman never had a period where she felt the necessity to do that. And like, so it's true. The average.
How would you know? How would you know? First of all, women were a lot more silent about their cheating back then. So how would you know? Not even just cheating. Women were a lot silent about the escapades they were been on. You just never knew. They were better at hiding it than men. So how would you know that women back in the day weren't rolling like Papa? Come on, dog. Let's just be real here. Because, hey, if Papa was a Rolling Stone, at the end of each box was a woman. So that woman is now 50 years old today. So she definitely had a wild past. Okay? Some people's grandmas out here probably had a wild past. You'll never know about that. That happens. That's it's not even a thing. It's probably more prevalent than we know. But you over here just assuming based on your bro science that, this 50-year-old grandma today, there's no way she could have been sexually active when she was 19. Bro, it's same day, different era. Like, what are you talking about, dog? The same woman, different era, dog. It's just now, it's different. Okay, so you trying to act like older women today weren't as promiscuous back then just because it was back then versus 19-year-olds today, you're crazy. You're honestly insane, bro. Like, if anything, you got to look at the sexual trends, okay? Sex trends are starting to decline now, not more and more, especially as loneliness is on the rise for both men and women, okay? So the outlook isn't looking too good. Chances are, grandma probably had it better back then when she was younger than what it is going on right now. Just being real.
19-year-old girl probably does have a higher body count than the average 53-year-old woman.
Wild. Let me respond to this with this super chat right here. Okay, this is Johnny D143. Thank you. We need to have more conversations like this with men who talk about intergender dynamics and add value. This is what men did in the Academy of Ancient Greece. I agree 100%. And you know why I agree? Because
you were there.
Bitch does not know what the fuck she's talking about. And that's who people are, because she's pretty, she's got big tits, she has no degree in fucking, she's not a clinical psychologist. At least Jordan Peterson has a degree in clinical psychology. Okay.
Never asked women for dating.
So what happens is she gets popular by riding you guys' jock the
Use
whole
your
fucking
name.
time,
Yeah.
right?
For a
And
while, yeah.
again, anybody who watches your show knows she's full of shit. So when we have this roundtable discussion right here, and we're not kicking dumb hoes off, we're not Frank Castling anybody. We're having this conversation right here. How come they're not doing clips of this fucking show? How come they're not?
We are. We clowning y'all right now. You literally have a round table where y'all sit here and just talk about women all day. I mean, I've never seen a bigger bunch of losers than what I'm looking at right now in this podcast over here. I mean, how pathetic are this right now? We got a bunch of grown-ass men, including grandma, sitting way back there in a fucking round table trying to figure out how dating still works. Y'all are grown-ass men. You're sitting here talking about women, the fucking hypergamy and sexual dating angles and shit. Y'all are grown-ass men. There could be other things you're talking about right now, but no, you got a round table to discuss dating preferences and women all fucking day long. But then when we have a podcast laughing at y'all, all of a sudden we're the weirdos? Really? Honestly, I don't care what y'all niggas say. I would rather clown y'all than have a podcast where my entire goal is to sit here and talk about why women aren't dating men anymore. Like, I just, honestly, bro, it's just weird. It's just weird because we live in the real world. We don't see that happening in the real world. So we know for a fact y'all niggas are in the Matrix. What are we talking about? Why don't they make clips of this? We're laughing at you right now. I mean, what? We're clowning y'all right now. Even right now, this roundtable is pathetic. Or am I wrong, Chad? Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm the only one here who thinks this is lame. All right? And then I will stand 10 toes down probably. But let me find out from the chat. Put a 1 if you think a bunch of grown-ass middle-aged dudes sitting around a round table discussing women, reproductive, and dating cycles all day. Put a 1 if you think that's lame. Or put a 2 if you think, Duke, yeah, no, you're the only one that's weird, Duke, because I would much rather sit around talking about women all day than laughing at dudes that talk about women all day. All right? Then put a 2 in the chat. I want to know where y'all sit at. But to me, this shit is corny, bro. You will never see me or my homies sitting around talking about women like this. It's usually in an off, like this is an off comment sort of way where it's like, oh, this happened with so-and-so girl. Oh, that's crazy. We talk about it for a few seconds, then it's on to the next subject, right? But we're not sitting here actually tactically discussing why women are women today. Like, that's so weird, bro. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not average, I guess. But the average dude I hang around with, we don't do this shit. This is weird. But maybe this is an average thing for average guys, or maybe this is what high value guys do. You ain't gonna catch me sitting around talking about women all day. Listen, I love women. I love women so fucking much, though. Y'all won't believe. But here's the thing. Y'all not that special for me to sit there and have fucking 2-hour conversations about just you. Like, what the fuck? Listen, I love y'all. You're not that special to have a 2-hour fucking conversation in a round table with other sad ass niggas. It's just weird to me, bro. I'm sorry. Y'all not that special. But again, some guys are supposed to be high value and women are supposed to flock to them. But look how much emphasis they put on a woman's approval. Like, it's just so weird. Y'all some insecure ass boys.
Saying, hey, this was a really good conversation. Why don't we clip this and see how it works and see how it flies? The problem is that nobody's shedding blood.
Yeah.
Nobody's dead on the floor. There's no big titties here. They're not flaming. They're not red, and they're not, on fire. So
yeah, I mean, if you're a female making any type of like dating type content that has any type of alignment with Red Pill, you're gonna go viral because it's like, oh shit, we got a girl in here that like agrees with us. Oh my god, this is awesome, and they just circle jerk. But the reality,
you mad? Why you getting mad, Myron? This is the infrastructure you built. You built this infrastructure, so now y'all mad these trad women are coming in and they're taking all the money from you? Why you mad? Pearl came in and within a year became the female Andrew Tate. But it took Andrew Tate longer to be Andrew Tate than Andrew Tate. So now y'all mad because a bunch of these trad women studied y'all talking points and they're coming out here saying the same thing, and you're pissed off that a man would simp for them? Why you mad? Y'all practically created the OnlyFans versions for men doing this red pill shit, right? And you don't think women are gonna peep the knowledge and then take it over from there? You think you actually believe your own hype that women are that dumb? They're not going to figure out, hey, this guy is saying this, so therefore, if I say this, I might get the attention, and plus, it might be double the attention because I'm also a woman and I'm good looking. So men are also going to find me attractive, and they're going to love the words coming out of my mouth. Yo, you didn't think that was going to be a possibility? That more men are going to choose women who are speaking red pill talking points over y'all niggas. Are you worried, Myron, that you might not be able to compete with women, at least on this business front? Because you don't have parts women have, right? Unless you fuck around and get titties one day. I mean, you did have a hair transplant, so I wouldn't put it past you, right? But unless you did that, right, you're not going to be able to compete with a lot of these women who are studying red pill talking points and are coming in and taking advantage of these men. You're not going to stop that. And guess what? These men want to be taken advantage of by these women. It's what they want. That's why we don't feel sorry for them, because they're choosing this. So stop getting mad that women are muscling in your space now. And they're taking it from you. They're stealing your crowd, right? We had the Melly Kings of the world, the Pearls of the world. What's the other woman that came in, but Kevin Samuels called her out? Y'all remember her? Was it April Ross or April Mason? Is that her name? Right? All these women who are coming in now because they understand the formula. Again, listen, at the end of the day, it's men that are the problem right now. We are the problem. We have issues that we haven't dealt with. That's why women can come in and take over these spaces that were originally supposed to be from men. Why? Because secretly, men are proving exactly what our podcast and our platform has been saying all along, that these men need these women more than the women need them. And the sooner y'all get to that fucking knowledge, the better. But y'all not going to get to that. Y'all think that y'all all you got to do is be high value, and you will need the... You don't even have to want for that woman no more. She'll just have to come after you and chase you down. That's not how that works. All right? That's not how that works. Y'all are just admitting to us y'all need these women more than they need you. So much so they can muscle it in your spot and take it over from you. Now what? But guess what? It's the men that platform them, like you. The men that support them, like your fans. Why are you mad?
Reality is where her is like, I'll just keep it down. She's a cloud chaser, man. She been talking about us for fucking years, man. She begged to come on her shit. Like, and I was like, nah, when we were in Dubai, on multiple occasions, I turned it down. This is the first time I've ever revealed this shit. And I was just like, nah, like, if you want to come, you got to bring some other chicks with you. We're not going to bring you on. That's the fucking truth. If I'm going to be all the way at 1,000, and I got the proof. But like, she's been coming at us for fucking years now at this point, well over a year, just saying all this bullshit. And it's just like,
but she's a traditional woman, right? She wants the exact same thing.
She's unmarried,
about
on
to be in her
camera,
30s,
promoting this. Like, she understands our lifestyle, but she doesn't understand anything. Yo, by the way,
she's a single mom.
Yeah,
bro, are they talking about Pearl right now? They're talking about Pearl, right? Chat, am I wrong, or are these guys clowning Pearl? But wait, hold up. Let me just run this back real quick.
Shit like that. Shit. Oh, this is all red pill. You're making any type of
red, and they're not cutting blood.
Yeah.
Nobody's dead on the floor. There's no big titties here. They're not flaming. They're not red, and they're not on fire. So
yeah, I mean, if you're a female making any type of like dating type content that has any type of alignment with red pill, you're gonna go viral because it's like, oh shit, we got a girl in here that like agrees with us. Oh my god, this is awesome, and they just circle jerk. But the reality is, where her is like, I'll just keep it down. She's a cloud chaser, man. She been talking about us for fucking years, man. She begged to come on her shit. Like, and I was like, nah, when we were in Dubai, on multiple occasions, I turned it down. This is the first time I've ever revealed this shit. And I was just like, nah, like, if you want to come, you got to bring some other chicks with you. We're not going to bring you on. That's the fucking truth. If I'm going to be all the way at 1,000, and I got the proof. But like, she's been coming at us for fucking years now at this point, well over a year, just saying all this bullshit. And it's just like,
but she's a traditional woman, right? She wants the exact same thing.
She's unmarried, on
about to be in her
camera,
30s,
promoting this. Like, she understands our lifestyle, but she doesn't understand anything. Yo, by the way,
she's a single mom.
Yeah. That's what I heard. I was looking up her degrees because there's Reddit. There's Reddit.
I know she's pushing.
They're talking about that lady in that video. Okay, so then why did Fresh suggest the video so y'all can just clown her? I don't get it, bro. Like, all this shit just seems pointless to me.
Reddit thread after thread. Yeah, I know.
She kept. She don't got.
Isn't it funny, right? Women come into our space and they sit down, listen to the points, and say, you know what, I can say this as well. So in a softer, nicer tone to appeal to more people at a bigger level and gain a following. And then what they do is they grift off the space and then say, you know what, I'm the arbiter of truth now. But bitch, you're a girl. You don't understand this. It's crazy, bro.
If you try to give,
you guys do the same thing. Y'all are acting like you're the harbinger of truth, right? Aren't y'all the ones saying we're all living in the matrix? Essentially, you're saying we're all living in a lie, but y'all know the truth, right? So I think it's a universal concept right now where you jump too far into the red pill. Before you know it, you start believing you hold the truth to reality. I think that's what happens when you pop too many of these pills and you start overdosing.
Give really good advice to men. It's very ugly to the public. We're like, hey, you remember, don't listen to exactly what she says. Pay more attention to what she does. It's very ugly to the public. I like Chris Williamson, but Chris Williamson has a clip where he goes, just be yourself. He says it with his Welsh accent. And I'm like, dude, you take your shirt off for money. You're telling men to just be themselves. That is crazy. It's like Shaquille O'Neal saying, just get taller. It's fucking crazy.
Just look at the banner on his YouTube channel.
He's just like ripped like this. And my whole point is this. What's happened is there's two types of dating coaches.
That's so dumb. All right. Listen, women sell their bodies online using OnlyFans because men want that. Men are the demand. They demand that shit. So women fulfill the market. Right. So again, you making that equivalent to Shaq. That's like basically saying if Shaq had his height, his arm span, and he wasn't supposed to play basketball. Like, of course, that was one day he could have easily done anything else, but he went into basketball. Why? Because his physique basically met the demand the NBA was looking for. So even your example doesn't even make any sense because I can find holes in it. Okay. So yeah, women have bodies and body parts that men find desirable. All right. And they're in demand. Okay. Especially that and the girlfriend experience that women can provide. So OnlyFans provides that medium and women get rich because they're filling the demands of men. So in your example with Shaq, yeah, if he's big as fuck, I'm pretty sure in college and even in high school, most people are walking around saying, hey, bro, and probably in middle school, they're probably looking at Shaq like, if you don't play basketball, you're useless, my nigga. I'm just saying. And honestly, the reason why I'm assuming that is because we've done that too, all right? They're like tall-ass dudes that went to high school with us, and we're like, bro, if you don't join the team, like really, bro, what you doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing with yourself, bro? Just go be part of the basketball team, right? Because again, it's one of those expectations most people kind of genuinely have. And if they fuck with the sport, fine. Just like, you know, if they don't, then they don't have to join the sport. But typically, it's that kind of pressure that society has, and also it's just kind of that thing that their bodies is uniquely built for what the sport desires or demands, right? So it's the same thing with women. There are women who have hot bodies and they don't want to go on OnlyFans, and the women that know they do have hot bodies and know that men desire that, so they will go on OnlyFans. What the fuck is your point? Like, seriously, what is the point of all of this shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Yo, more D with the 5. Shout out to you. Says these guys pick on leftism/liberalism, but wouldn't dare go live in Afghanistan because they're all liberal leftists by comparison. Such bullshitters. Facts. These guys are the biggest pansies and pussies out there, bro. Like, they'll just sit there and say, oh, that's weird. That's gay. That's us. That's this. I'm going to challenge you to a fight because I'm a manly man. And somebody says, yeah, okay, bet, let's do it. Oh, wait, hold up. What? Huh? Wait. No, and he'll come up with every excuse in the book, right? Listen, if you don't believe me, look at Myron with that. Y'all remember that video with that dude on a bike, that little skinny dude on a bike that was talking shit to Myron, but he was riding away, right? And then Myron was trying to fight him, like, what, yo, what? You saying something, bro? What? You think you're tough, huh? You think you're tough, right? That was Myron. Myron actually almost walked to the end of the block looking for a fight with that scrawny dude, right? But then when it comes to Allende, who's hunting Myron down for the smoke, all of a sudden Myron's trying to call 911. all of a sudden Myron remembers, oh yeah, I used to work with the feds. I'm gonna snitch on this nigga. Hey, 911. There's this big buff Jamaican guy trying to beat me up. Yeah, he's asking for a smoke. I don't even know what that means. Like, listen, when it comes down, I can't believe you called the cops on him, bro. The first time he pulled up on you, you tried to shoot him. You had a gun on you. The second time he pulled up on you, you called the cops. Okay, so clearly you don't want the smoke. You're selective, Myron, because you think, oh, the skinny guy on a bike, I can beat up, right? Because I'm your bully, right? But the clearly buff bodybuilder who I started smoke with, all right? No, I'm not fighting him. I'm calling the cops. Get out of here. I don't want to hear it, bro. They're fake tough guys. They're internet tough guys. Or like Sus Marquardt over here. Like Sus Marquardt over here who challenged me to a fight, right? All of a sudden, I accept the challenge. Ghost. Nothing. No word, no nothing. These guys are internet gangsters. They're internet bullies. That's why we clown them. It just is what it is, bro. You can't take these people seriously. I have more respect for Sneeko getting beat up by Sean Strickland than any of these bozos on here. Maybe except for Mike Sartain, because he was actually in the military. So I'd say he ones up a lot of these other guys out here pretending. Rafael Samano with the 5 shot to you says, we have to set up a Myron on a date with a gay dude. He says if he falls for it, $100 says he will confirm whether he's gay or not. Listen, he's not gonna do it. Myron's not gonna do it. All right. Anything that's gonna expose him, he's not gonna do it. All right. So he'll keep his shenanigans behind the scenes. That's just the best way to put it. Yo, Casey with the 2. Casey, shout out to you. Casey says, good women see these men and do a 40-yard dash. Facts. Listen, man, I'll tell you this, because this almost got me to a point where I was kind of mad. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of pissed off at it, right? But I literally had a girl turn me down because of that, bro. Because they think that because you look a certain way, you might behave in a certain pattern, right? And that it just is what it is. And some women, they would much rather not go through with the headache, right? If they think you're that kind of like fuck boy kind of dude, right? Because believe it or not, most women don't like fuck boys, but they end up with fuck boys. Do you know why? Because fuck boys lie. They lie all the time. That's why they're fuckboys, right? So a fuckboy will say whatever they want to say to get between that box, okay? And once they get it, all of a sudden the game starts to change a little bit. And most women have had to deal with a bunch of these guys, similar to a lot of these red pill poppers out there. Listen, I'm just speaking from experience. I can tell you guys right now, this shit happens, okay? And as over time, women try to protect themselves from this type of activity. So again, I'm not surprised that even you even see on Tinder now, most women are like, oh, if you listen to this Kevin Samuels shit or listen to this red pill shit or Andrew Tate shit, I don't want you, right? They're specifying that in their profiles. Why? Because women are trying to adapt to what they're seeing in a dating market right now. They know that the fuckboys are adapting, so they have to adapt with it by saying, hey, if you like any of these guys, we don't want you. So when these guys are acting like, oh, yeah, if you become high value, red pill, all these women are going to desire you. No, bro, they don't want you. Matter of fact, they're trying to avoid guys like you. But the problem is it's hard to tell when somebody is lying. And men are really good at lying. I mean, I'm going to just be real with y'all out there, bro. Any woman who, you've dealt with some of these guys, And some of you, I'm not saying all men are liars. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that what the media shows you about men, because the media portrays men in a kind of mopey Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin type shit, right? Where men are dopey, dumb, and whatnot. Men aren't stupid, bro. Men are really, really good liars. Good as women who are good at liars too as well. And oftentimes the reason why we're in this dating mess that we're in right now, because we had a handful of fuckboys that were really, really, really good. And now look what we're dealing with today. I'm just saying. So listen, I'm just being real, because the reason why I know it's true is because the vast majority of guys, even if they tried, couldn't even get it like that, because most of the guys don't even have the confidence like that. I know. All right. But the thing is, now in society with this internet shit coming on and adding to it, it is true. Like y'all don't understand. Like a lot of women who are jaded today is because they dealt with men who are good liars. It's just, I don't know what else to tell you. So yeah, a lot of this high value shit, trust me, you don't want to go around, displaying this nonsense, because women are going to avoid you like the plague, bro. But shout out to you, Casey, for pointing that out. Isaiah Jackson with the 5. Isaiah says, all of Lord Susquat's tuition is going to his gut. Yeah. Bro, he's getting fatter. I'm noticing that shit too, bro. It's like, damn, dog. Like, versus the cheeks, now you got the weight, bro. Like, damn, you're really getting that butt ass tuition out there, bro. It's crazy. God damn, yo, Chad, I'm really pushing it today, bro. Whew, I feel horrible. I'm really pushing it. Yo, Janeri, shout out to you for the 5. Janeri says, not sure if you heard about the Ryan Garcia and Andrew Tate incident. Give it a listen. It's only 4 minutes. Was it because I know people are pissed off at Ryan Garcia right now. I know they're pissed off at him. Maybe is that the reason why? Was it Andrew Tate? I might have to check it out. But like, I want to see what's going on because like right now he's on the internet making up excuses and shit. Well, didn't he said he got arrested or didn't get arrested? What the fuck was going on with that? Like again, Ryan Garcia, he's not gonna have a very long career at all. No. He's like, he reminds me of the Eddie Guerrero of boxing, and that's a disrespect to Eddie Guerrero, right? But I mean, all the lying and cheating and shit, bro. Like this needs to stop. Like Ryan Garcia, stop it. You need help, bro. We all know you bullshitting, bro. We all know you lying like a motherfucker. But shout out to you, Generic says, Generic for the 5 again. Let's get a W for Generic in the super chat on the chat below. Generic says John Anthony and Michael Sartain have beef, and Sartain keeps ducking him. Listen, anybody who's afraid of John Anthony, they know he's got a lawsuit up his sleeve somewhere. All right, you fuck with John Anthony, you can almost expect a lawsuit. Okay, that's why I call him John Anthony lawsuit, because that's just what it is, bro. But I'm not surprised, bro. Like, but is the beef really that interesting between them? Do you really think it is? I don't really think it is. I mean, John Anthony, the only thing interesting about him is he's got tattoos of how many women he slept with on his body, which I think is just like the most corniest shit I've ever heard of in my life. But he admits to it. So I'm not surprised that him and Mike Sartain, another corny ass dude, are beefing online about manosphere and red pill.
There's the dating coach who gives the good advice, but now we're watching how the sausage is made and it's ugly. And a lot of people don't want to see that. And now there's the dating coach that your girlfriend approves of. And that's the Akon. That's Chris Williams.
You should listen to her, man.
That's Alex Date Site. That's Mac and Murphy. They're dating coach that your girlfriend approves of. And that's what's supposed to happen now. Isn't it funny? All these people are super good looking, giving us dating advice.
Yes,
it's amazing how that works, Chad. It's just so funny. And so that's the thing I'm talking about.
Here's the biggest litmus test if the advice is good. Dating in itself is adversarial, right? And we've talked about this Rollo ad nauseum,
Mating
right?
strategies.
Yeah, like
dating in itself is adversarial. What? Hold up, you're gonna have to explain what you're going out with that, because that seems like it doesn't make any sense. I don't think you're supposed to be going into it dating with an adversarial mindset. I think that's gonna work the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve, right? Hopefully he explains what the fuck he means by this.
The man is trying to get sex and the woman is trying to get attention and resources. Both parties.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's exactly. Yeah, dating, it's so adversarial because men want sex and women just want some resources. No. If you think that the woman you're dating wants your resources, you're probably leading with your wallet. You should probably change strategies. Because most of the time, women aren't looking at your wallet. Your wallet is part of it, right? Make sure you're financially stable, but that's it. No one wants to date a guy who doesn't know how to manage his finances. No one doesn't want to be friends with people who don't know how to manage their finances. And you don't believe me? Ask if you ever had a homeboy who tried to borrow money from you but never pays back. All right? We don't like to hang out with people who are financially irresponsible, okay? Because the burden falls on us. So typically, we look for friends who are financially stable, or if we're looking for relationship partners who are also somewhat financially literate. Okay, so you looking at, oh yeah, well, she's just looking for me at my wallet. Unless you are leading with your wallet or notoriously bad with money, that is only a part of it. It's not the whole thing. Again, what? And oftentimes, I don't know about you, but most dudes, yeah, they go into dating because there's an attractive woman they see themselves with. Okay, it's not necessarily sex up front, but it's because men, listen, we're weird with this, and this is the thing with guys. And I'm gonna bust a secret out real quick. Okay, men, what we like to do is we conceptualize a lot, right? Because we're led by a woman's beauty. That's not a denial. That's a true statement, right? A lot of times we look at a woman, she looks good, we start imagining certain things with her, right? Not even in the bedroom. Some dudes would imagine her being the love of their lives, her being the one, her being all of these things. We start putting all these ideas on this woman. We don't even know her, right? But we start putting all these ideas on this woman just because she's attractive to us, right? So again, Yeah, but trying to get to know that woman isn't necessarily just about getting sex. Sometimes it's just making sure that woman is with us, and then sex comes afterwards, right? In the opposite direction, when a woman is looking for a guy, the money is not at the forefront of her mind. Believe it or not, sometimes looks, physical attractiveness is on the top tier list of a woman. Are you good looking? Right? No, well, he's decent looking. Okay, the second thing is, are you fashionable? Oh, I like his shoes. You know, he matches with his clothing. He doesn't look like a straight bum walking out here. So he's attractive in both sense, right? Okay, now let's have a conversation. Or is he bold enough to approach me for a conversation? That adds to the meter that girls use to judge whether a guy is a good dating prospect. It's not just because of the money. If you think that dating's adversarial because one, guys want the box, and two, girls want the money, this is the binary mindset that is going to lead a lot of men to singledom in the long run, because you're not considering everything else that surrounds what women consider a good prospect or a good partner. And the same thing with men, what they would consider a good prospect or a good partner. This is so frustrating, chat.
Parties are fighting to keep their resource and get the others without giving up theirs. So if you're giving advice to one party, it automatically puts the other party at a disadvantage.
Yep.
So if you're giving proper fucking advice, the other party should be enraged that you're giving the other one information that puts them at a significant disadvantage.
Well,
and I've always said this too. When women warn each other about men, it's called advice. When men warn men about women, they call it misogyny. Because the truth is, women don't want you to know the truth because that's their only fucking power.
100%.
When you know the truth and you can't be finessed and you can't be manipulated, guess what? She ain't got no hands either. She can't do shit to you. So they don't want you to know. But this is why I always say women dating coaches, right, or women that give advice in this situation, they give you half truths. A lot of things that Sadia says is actually correct. I'm not going to shit on her. But a lot of things she says is very incorrect, and I'm not going to blame her because she's a woman.
How would she know?
She does not know.
I'll give you some inside baseball. When I consult, I rarely consult women, and I'm probably never going to write a book for a woman for one reason only: they won't listen. And I don't mean to slam that, but
I just find it interesting. Hear a bunch of guys saying, "Yeah, how can a woman even talk about men?" And she's not even a man. She doesn't have the perspective. But then I'm watching a bunch of guys talk about women, and they're not women. Listen, using your logic, you guys shouldn't even be. This conversation is weird because y'all are not women. So how y'all sitting here trying to figure out how women date, and you're not women? But then y'all are sitting here talking about what women are trying to talk about men like they are men. Isn't that ridiculous? They think they're us, but they're not us. Well, y'all not women, so why are you talking about women? This don't make any sense, bro. Y'all are weird. This is
Bruce wrote Lady. No one bought it.
Yeah.
Which was a fantastic book.
Right, yeah. And
Bruce wrote a book for women called Lady.
Aaron,
great book.
You should write a book on what they want to hear.
Well,
they know
five love languages.
That's called
Operation Evil.
Well, it is Operation Evil. Yeah.
No one even knows Bruce wrote a book for women. It's called Lady.
But as it pertains to our overall conversation, is I would say, especially because everything is bought and paid for and taken care of, and they're not threatened with death or ostracization from the village or whatever. Women, they don't have to listen to the truth, and I think a lot of younger men, and again the Tradcon community, you have to understand now, especially say using the materialist 80s, I guess, as a mark point, these girls will not entertain any practical, hard advice that would make for good quality and character, let alone a marriageable woman. And so things like, well, you got to tell a woman to lose weight nowadays. You can't do it. You just can't, you'll lose your fucking job. If you try and do something like that. Tell a girl to major in engineering. Tell a girl like, hey, maybe you should keep the number of dicks in your mouth below a gross. Just wondering, but and for any young.
Listen, first of all, we don't need to tell women shit. We can do it with our actions, because all this talking, we just sound like them, right? So we don't need to be telling women shit. We just need to lead with our actions. So if you guys are serious about this, that means no more platforming OnlyFans women. Let's see how far your show gets without that. Because by platforming OnlyFans women, you're selling an image to these men, and these men are gonna go subscribe to those OnlyFans women's account. So again, if you want to really, if you want to go for what you're advocating for here, that means y'all niggas need to change too. Instead of using sex as a cheap gimmick to get views, right? Using OnlyFans women as a cheap gimmick to get views. How about this? just do the normal shit without the women. Leave them all out of it. Stop using the fact that they're OnlyFans women to sell you shit. See how far you get. Oh, you can't do it. Because in order for the men to take whatever the fuck y'all are saying valuable, you surround yourself with the very same women y'all are criticizing right now. At the end of the day, the more I'm listening, the more I'm realizing y'all need these promiscuous women more than they need you. It's making so much sense now.
Guy out there, if you're out there dating, see if you can give some advice along the lines of eat your broccoli, something that's healthy but is sacrificial and painful. And you'll see, because you cannot have a healthy marriage or committed relationship unless the other person is selfless. That's the whole point.
These are the same guys that freak out where you have female teachers trying to tell young boys how to behave in class, right? These be the same dudes that freak out and say, "Oh, see, we need more male teachers," because women teachers are just trying to tell boys to sit in the classroom like good little girls, and boys aren't good little girls. Boys are disruptive. They need male teachers to set them straight, right? And it's like, huh? But here you guys are talking about, we're just trying to give advice. Eat a broccoli for once, okay? Why don't all we're doing is just trying to help you women. I mean, it may sound insulting and triggering, but we're just trying to help you. But then when women are giving advice to men, like, hey, just open up a little bit more, be a little bit more, vulnerable. Hey, how dare you tell me to be vulnerable as a man? I'm a man. I have to be stoic and mean. Okay, look at my Andrew Tate post. Okay, men like me, we can't be vulnerable. Okay, we have to take all of our deepest, darkest anger, and we have to push it down below the surface, okay, and never let it slip, and only take it out when we're around people that we think that we trust, okay, and then we just completely destroy them with our anger because we explode because we don't know how to control it, okay? Shut up. This is what you guys talk about all the fucking time, okay? So stop it. When women give you advice on, hey, it's okay to share, it's okay to be all vulnerable. Not saying you got to air out everything. That's not what women are saying, okay? But they're saying, hey, we know you're wound up tight and we're only going to take it out on us later in the relationship. So how about we just talk about it? But no, y'all get mad because that's what's happening now. Now, all of a sudden, y'all are saying, but women, when we tell you just eat a broccoli, we just want us to lose our jobs. Listen, I'm not saying that you can't get fired or exposed or whatnot, but that's internet culture, okay? People do something crazy, they're trying to dox you on Twitter. That's a new age right now. People are so bored with their lives that if one of the biggest content creators is going through some shit and it's the cause of somebody else, they're gonna do their darndest to go expose that person live or however they're gonna do it. It's internet culture nowadays. So you going around telling Sierra, you going around telling who are these women that these guys talk about consistently, telling them to do this and that. Their fans are gonna be pissed enough at you, like Taylor Swift, Nicki Minaj, that they're gonna figure out what's going on with you and try to expose you and put you on blast. That's how the internet is nowadays. To say that's all unique thing, no, everyone's a fanatic nowadays online. It just is what it is. It's a big problem that we have to figure out, but I don't think we're anywhere close to even figuring out the solution for it.
Point of love is you love that person more than yourself. Well, if they're all about themselves, which they are, because that's how we've been trained, and they never ever needed anyone else, it is a huge uphill battle that you're facing. So you can, if you can't even get a prospective woman to be empirical, like, hey, you want 3 kids? Well, we better get a house that fits this.
Yeah.
And we're going to only be able to afford these kind of cars. Well, I need to have an import. Well, fuck you, because math, that's it.
We had a girl on the show recently, by the way, right? We have a game we call Wifey Test, where we put our Instagram page and we see how you look, for wifey material.
Listen up.
And actually, this girl pulled up her page, and that was not her. We said to her, listen, sweetheart, is that you? Who is that?
Oh, yeah.
And we told her to her face, listen, just being real here, who is this person? Because this is not you. And she got upset. She said, listen.
This is a big girl?
Yeah, big girl.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, this is me. If you don't like it, da-da-da. We're like, don't you want a man? She's like, yeah. Well, he's going to see this and then say, who's this? And she's like, well, I don't care. And I'm like, there's no logical reasoning here.
Yeah. Bro, there's no logical reasoning to what the fuck you just said. Okay, let me get this straight. You have a segment on your show where you say wifey material, and you get these OnlyFans girls, the OnlyFans women you re-invited, by the way, to your show, to pull up their Instagram to find out if they're wifey material. Let me get this straight. You invite OnlyFans girls to your show just to pull up their Instagram to see if these OnlyFans women are wifey material. And then, surprise, surprise, they have risque photos or promiscuous photos that if they want a man in the future that that men wouldn't appreciate. So then why even have the segment if you're gonna invite OnlyFans women to your chat, to your fucking platform? Your logic is pointless, okay? If I'm gonna do a wifey test, okay, I'm gonna make sure I have women who are wifey material, and then it'll make sense to judge them based off their Instagram. But if I already know that all the girls are OnlyFans thoughts, what's the point of pulling up their Instagram? I know it's gonna be provocative. Matter of fact, their Instagrams almost have to be provocative, because when your audience are done watching your show and they click on your Instagram bio to find that OnlyFans link, well, they need to be teased by something, all right? So they need to see the photo. So why are you getting mad at the women that you invited to your show for not being wifey material? This doesn't make any sense. Somebody take his mic. Somebody take his mic right now. He needs to stop talking. Stop talking, bro. Your show is dumb. The whole plot is pointless. Okay, you should just quit while you're ahead.
But by default, she's gonna always fail. But that's the definition of insanity. So I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I remember meeting a girl off Instagram once. Showed up, she was like 30 pounds heavier. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no,
Bro,
I was
no
so
one's going
pissed.
for that shit, bro. They like smash,
it's crazy
that's it.
because like what I've noticed with girls is like they kind of like
Come on,
in the
man.
back of their mind they're like, well, he's gonna accept me anyway because that's what society does.
And
So
other
he's
men
gonna accept me.
have accepted
There you
her.
go.
That's the other
That's the
reason.
big
That's a
one.
problem.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes do.
So and they're just like, yeah, well, you're gonna accept me too. And it's just like we don't, bro. It just kind of sucks how we don't really put a standard of behavior or excellence or performance on females at all. So it's like they can kind of do whatever they want. Like you literally said it before. Like you can be a retard as a female, and if you're hot enough, you will find a guy, no problem.
Yes,
I want to add one.
penalize the guys. That's
So is that the problem with the women, or is that the problem with the men? That men don't. It seems like the men don't have standards. Why are we talking about women where we should be clowning the men for not having standards? That's why I do what I do, because I'm clowning y'all. Y'all don't have standards. In turn, you're teaching other men not to have standards. Okay, so y'all are getting frustrated. Well, why can't we just control women's behavior? That's essentially what they're saying. They're saying it without saying it, but y'all know they're saying it, right? Why can't we just control women's behaviors today? These modern women are too out of control, okay? These men, no matter what they do, there's always a dick at the end of their actions, okay? Yeah, maybe we should start putting more emphasis on the men who don't have standards and are willing to fuck even a girl who is, according to Myron's example, considered retarded, right? That's a man at the end of that dick, right? So we should be on his ass, on why he's out here banging chicks with low IQs. Like what's going on, bro? You're fucking up the standard. Again, y'all are just absolving men of all of these responsibilities in it, okay? And then we're shifting the blame to women. At the end of the day, if a woman has sex, there's a man at the end of that dick, all right? So if he's sticking his dick in something that is considered, okay, not the highest of value or standards, then we need to be going at him and saying, yo, what's up with you and what you're doing over here? Because you're lowering the standards for everybody. But no, we don't want men to have accountability because it's the women's fault.
Problem.
Yes.
The guys put up with it.
Women are going to be ditzy, but it's these weak males that are actually the problem. And what I mean by that is,
I can actually agree with something Sus Marquardt says. Okay, I actually agree with this. Let's get on this dudes for a second, bro, because all this female talk and female all the problems, like, what are we talking about here? So are they just going out having sex by themselves, or is there a man over there having sex with them? Let's just be real. I mean, what is this?
You got the guy who will actually get into the relationship with a girl who's promiscuous and he knows she's promiscuous. You got the guy who will accept the girl who's overweight. I'm not saying don't give her the Jimmy Dean sausage. You hear me? I'm just saying don't let her hold on to it and keep it. And so the truth is we actually have to start enforcing punishment upon the weak guys. And I've seen something on the internet that I kind of like.
That can't happen. If we're going to look at Myron's face, he already know that can't happen. The weak men are the ones watching your shows. So y'all going to enforce some punishment. Y'all not going to have an audience. So right now you're preaching to the choir that isn't even listening to you. They're all deaf. Okay. No, the weak men are all on your platforms. They've congregated right there. Strong men aren't sitting there watching red pill channels on how to get women because It's just something that happens for them, okay? But for y'all congregate in these little weirdo spaces, all right, and you talk about women all day. I mean, look at the circle jerk we're watching over here. And now you talk about, well, we need to punish these men. They're your fans, bro. Good luck with that one. I mean, last I know, I don't see strong men buying Fresh's courses on DMs on the band. I don't see strong men doing that. It's the weak bozos that are ones that go to these conventions. It's the weak bozos that buy all these courses. So if you're going to penalize the weak men, you're penalizing your audience. And I don't know how long that's going to last. Yeah, you don't believe me? Look at Fresh and Fit and how their audience is getting on them right now, especially Fresh. And they're making sense.
Every now and then you'll see an Instagram girl and she's like super attractive. And then me, I'm thinking about like, yo, where's her at? Because I can legitimately slide her DMs and then smash her this weekend in real life.
Yeah.
These other weirdos.
You don't shut your ass up. I'm telling you right now, you pull up to any girl wearing your grandmama's couch cutted out fucking patterned jacket, you know, and pulling up there, you're not getting boxed, bro. The first thing on a girl's mind, if they see your mannerisms and your attire, all right, they're probably gonna think you're gay. I'm just gonna real with you, bro. All right, I'm sorry. You imagining yourself, Sus Marquardt, as some guy that can easily slide into a woman's DMs and then just pull her, bro. You have a hard time convincing us that you're a pimp, especially with videos like this surfing around the internet.
But ass.
That is not a straight thing to do. How about this, buddy? Listen, you will quell all of our concerns if you just do a debate with Sharp. He's calling you out. He doesn't believe you're a pimp or a womanizer that you claim to be, all right? You probably, for all we know, pay the women to be around you or they're around you for clout. The only ones that we probably know is ride or die with you is Bridget, all right? And that's because she was out there scamming with you. So, again, you sit there talking about, I can slide into any girl's DMs, bro. I'm sorry. Any woman you pull up looking like this too, bro, they're automatically going to think you're swinging for the other team, my boy. So just stop with this. This is getting weird at this point. Okay, stop.
Or like, what's her at? I'm like, why do you need her at?
What are you gonna do with this?
In different worlds.
And here's the sick, sad thing: they're gonna follow her and double tap all her photos like a psychopath. Right? So those guys need to be punished. And here's what's happening. There's some sick characters on the internet. They'll put, oh yeah, here's her at. It's at, Carla Jones. And then you click it and it's like something totally disgusting. Yeah. It's like, have you guys seen that before?
Yes.
Yeah. And I absolutely love it. But
I've never seen it. How did you see it? And matter of fact, how did all of them know what you're talking about unless they've been there? Now that's an interesting concept. That's interesting. Hey, if you want men to stop doing this, Sus Marquardt, how about you stop platforming OnlyFans women? Like the same two OnlyFans girls that totally schooled you on your own show, right? I mean, I know for a fact you didn't pay them to be on there unless you did. Then that's weird. Or we know they're getting paid on the back end, meaning your fans, Saint the Sinner, are subscribing to their OnlyFans account, which I'm sure they did, because even that one lady, Jasmine, knew for a fact your fans were going to subscribe to her OnlyFans account. So again, what does that make y'all? Well, from us and our perspective, y'all are just as part of the problem as y'all blaming his women to be. Just saying, bro. Look in the fucking mirror for once. M. Dot with the 5. Shout out to you. M. Dot says, Myron complains about women having no standards, but they're doing these women on but they bring these women on their show for views. Facts. No, you're absolutely right. It's just crazy to me to see the double standard here because they know the game they're playing. They talk about all these women and how many views does this get? This got 16,000 views in 3 weeks. I bet you if there was some OnlyFans chicks on this show, this would have easily been 100,000 views or more. Guaranteed. If you had all these different guys, but you put the OnlyFans girls on there, it'd probably had more views. But no, look at this. Okay, this is on Mike Sartain's channel over here. Okay, and you got the heavy hitters of the manosphere. Okay, you got Rollo Tomassi, you got Fresh and Fit. Okay, and this sus-ass weirdo over here. And y'all could only pull in 16K views? It just means that ain't nobody trying to watch a bunch of dudes talk about women unless the women are there. And the fact that the women aren't there, the views are showing. All right? So, but again, these guys, they know they need the women more than the women need them. That's why they platform these women on their shows, because the women pad their views. That's why with Fresh and Fit, their regular Money Monday shows or Financial Tuesdays or Real Estate Wednesdays, whatever they want to call it, right? They don't get as much views as the women that are on the show on the late night shows. It just shows you the sex sells. So as they're demonizing these OnlyFans women, they need them. So you punishing these guys, it really don't make any sense. It just doesn't. Yo, Lay with the $5 super chat. Lay says, Elijah Safer getting slapped by Black Twitter because of his comments regarding Halle Bailey's looks, and DDG defended her. Elijah now threatened to sue. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Halle Bailey, I keep slipping, bro, because it sounds too much like Halle Berry. But Halle Bailey, all right, she's a beautiful girl. Okay, she was a Little Mermaid girl, right? She's a cute little girl. She's dating DDG, right? Cute. Oh no. You know, that is Halle Berry. I was thinking about her sister's is a different one, right? Her sister, yeah, her sister fine as hell. Listen, if Haley is cute, yes, yeah, her sister fine as hell. But listen. Again, I'm not surprised. These dudes, they like to shit on black women no matter what, right? I think the number one hatred starts with the black woman, and then it fans out the modern women. But realistically, I'm not surprised they're slamming her. And I'm good on DDG for defending his girl, right? Because that's what they're trying to do to Simone Biles right now, right? They're looking at Simone Biles and her NFL boyfriend, and her NFL boyfriend. Did he say something? He was saying something like, oh, well, I didn't even know about Simone Biles and whatnot. It's like, and everyone's like, oh, look what's going on. And all the red pill dudes were happy about it. He didn't even know who she was. That shows you that this NFL guy she's dating is high value, right? And all of them say, yo, bro, how many people actually focus on gymnastics Olympics? Like, not a lot of people. Like, even compared to the NFL, okay, the Olympics is like, it's like soccer compared to football. Okay, we don't really see it as, it's like a national thing, international thing, right? Where everyone wants to watch it and see what's going on, but they don't. It's not like, it doesn't have a cult-like following, especially in the U.S. like NFL football. So if an NFL football star is saying, "Well, Simone Biles, I didn't really know who she was," it kind of makes sense, okay? Because football is bigger than gymnastics. If you don't believe me, when was the last gymnastic events you went to? I'll wait. I don't even know the last one I went to. I've probably never been to one. I've never been to a volleyball game. I've never been to anything. I've never been to that. All right. I've probably been to like 1 or 2 football games and a couple basketball games. That's about it. But the reason why is those are the sports I find interesting. I don't sit there and watch gymnastics. So it makes sense that a guy like Simone Biles' boyfriend didn't hear about her until, you know, her name got in the media and all over the place. So again, y'all red pill poppers using any excuse to turn like just go crazy on a black woman is just insane to me, bro. But you know, I'm not surprised. These guys, a lot of them don't like, they have issues with their mamas. Yo, Kendra, shout out to you, Kendra. Let's get a W in the chat for Kendra Williams with the $10 super chat. Kendra says, Drew, facts. The only time my husband hears their content is when I'm catching an episode. They're so ridiculous and clueless. Facts. I'm telling you, most average people don't care about the red pill. They don't know the red pill. They don't care to know it. Is because they're too busy living their lives. So they're not sitting here, you know, sitting around in circles trying to figure out, whoa, what do women like? Oh, you know, the average women, what do they like to date, huh? Like, they're not doing that. They're working, because that's what society demands of us right now, is to work and to build things, at least with what's left of it. So, you know, as society gets harder, the economy gets harder, people aren't focusing on these trivial shit on how to figure out how women work. We're trying to figure out how to you know, put the lights on in the house on, right? How to put food on the table. That's what most average people are worried about right now. Not this bullshit, dude. Like, and that's what most women are worried about. That's why most women aren't trying to date right now, okay? Believe it or not, the reason why most women aren't dating is because they don't want to be under up some man. They want to be able to handle a lot of the stuff that's going on with the bills and going on in society, right? Because essentially they have to know how to handle this stuff, because that's just how it is. People, they're so focused on, listen, when we're complaining about why women aren't having kids nowadays, it's because the economy doesn't isn't set up for it. A kid is expensive. We're not set up for it. You have to be in a relationship, and to even get into a relationship where you're planning on having kids, you guys have to be financially responsible to be able to take care of that kid. Because on average, it's like $200,000, $300,000 to raise a kid from start till 18 years of age, right? And that's not even the most part, including college funds and all that stuff the kid's going to need. So most women know they're not in that stage to even have a family, so they want to wait longer. But yet you come online, they get penalized for waiting longer because they think, well, hi, you guys just choose careers. It's no, they're not choosing that. It's the society demands that because the economy isn't the greatest right now. So you can't just pop out kids like you did back in the 60s, back in the 50s or 40s when a man could have one job and take care of an entire family. No, it can't happen anymore. You know, we can't even afford houses, most people. All right. So how are we going to have a kid while renting? Or is that what you're trying to do? Right? Again, people are trying to be smart about their financial situation when they're making lifestyle changes. So them sitting around in a circle jerk blaming women for having kids later in life, not realizing that's what the economy demands because kids are expensive, is crazy. And then, so what if they have kids early? Look how these conservative guys treat a lot of people who have kids early, right? Because a lot of these people who have kids early oftentimes are broke. They're poor. They're on the welfare system, right? And if they're in the welfare system, look how these Republicans will treat you. Look how these conservative guys who are talking about, I'm super conservative. Look how they'll treat you as soon as you get on the welfare system because you can't afford to take care of a kid because you had them too damn young. Look how they'll treat you. They'll treat you like some kind of leech on society. It's the double standards. That's why you can't listen to what these people say because it's weird. It's like, first of all, if we have kids too young and can't afford it, y'all will call us deadbeats and weirdos, right? But if we wait too long, you guys will say, oh, we're ruining society because we're waiting too long to have kids. Make it make fucking sense, bro. There's no nuance with these idiots.
That's just the start of what we actually have to start doing.
I was going to say, so I just did an interview this morning with the guys who are in the next room over here, which is Rebel Entertainment, right? Okay. And they're doing a documentary right now on like simping, like what, like the simpedemic, right? And it's crazy. So he did an interview.
I did it too. Yeah.
Yeah, we got with Miguel from Cultivate Crypto, and they're going to get with you guys as well later on. But so one of the questions was, well, what do we do about this? How do we correct this? Course correct for the ship, right? And I'm like, well, there's a few things. And one of course is, well, how do we disincentivize men from doing this? That's one thing. The other thing is that we also have to find ways to disincentivize women from rewarding women with like OnlyFans, for example. They can make a living off of this.
Okay, stuff. I got the perfect idea. Let's not reward OnlyFans women by platforming them on our shows. How about that? Who's the first one to sign up? Byron, you? Saint the Sinner, you? How about you, Rollo? Are you ready to make the commitment to stop platforming OnlyFans women? How about you take the stand right now on your own bullshit advice? But he's not going to do that. But you know why? They need these very same women to get views on your shows as much as they're demonizing them right now.
If anybody had the will to do this, no one has the will to fucking do this. So this is pie in the sky kind of thinking here.
Yeah, I'm listening.
But no one has the will to do this. We have to disincentivize the incentives that put women on OnlyFans to begin with. We need to disincentivize the reasons why women would want to go and advertise their sexual availability, even though they are unavailable. They're with a guy, and yet they're still selling their ass and showing their ass off. There has to be something because these women don't have any reason not to do this.
So how do we do that? How about we start with not platforming them on your shows? I think that's a great idea. All in favor? Yeah. How about we stop platforming OnlyFans women on their shows so your fans can stop giving them that validation that they're getting? How about that? But y'all not really ready to talk about the real solutions, are we? Again, y'all like just politicians. That's why I can't stand you weirdos, because you talk like little slimy politicians. Whether you're on the left or the right, you're the same fucking people. All right? So how are we going to do this? You're talking about all the problems except for the ones you're directly participating in. You're part of the problem, but yet I don't hear a mention of how you're willing to make a commitment right now to help save a lot of young men from porn addiction issues by stop platforming OnlyFans women on your shows. You're not going to do that, right? No, you're not, because that cuts to your bottom line. So let's talk about all these other pie in the sky bullshit that could potentially, hopefully, disincentivize men from putting women on a pedestal.
And make a very good
living that announcement
off of doing
it. So everyone who's subscribing to leak their content for free.
The cure is
it's already on Reddit.
Right now.
you hear Kanye West talking about, I just be looking at them on Reddit. I don't really be going on the OnlyFans. I look on Reddit.
Your cure isn't let's repeal the 19th. You know what your cure is? Disincentivize all that fucking behavior. Take the reward. This is me being the behavioral psychologist. Take the reward away from the rat so that the pellet doesn't come out every time you put the lever down. That you're going to just get more and more likes. You're going to get more and more attention. You're going to get more and more. It's ego appeasement, and you make a good living off of this at the same time.
So Rollo, just out to your point, why do women do OnlyFans? Is it because they want to, or is it the money? Independence.
They don't want to work.
I think it's the money, but I think it's the attention is a lot of it, and independence.
Yeah. So I asked some girls that were doing OnlyFans. So listen, I'm just curious.
Fresh knows a bunch of them in Miami.
Yeah.
I wonder why Fresh knows a bunch of OnlyFans girls in Miami, but yeah, y'all the ones supposed to stop us from watching OnlyFans girls. Why? Hey, can y'all help me understand in the chat how Fresh happens to know so many OnlyFans girls in Miami? I'll wait.
If you can make this amount of money, but don't do OnlyFans, would you do it? Of course.
No, they're lazy and dumb. They're lazy and incompetent.
Hold on. So then I asked them, what would you do other than OnlyFans? You know what they say? Strip club. But so it's always easy work that's sex work. Well, which goes to show if it's easy and they can make money, they will do it.
I don't think they're lazy.
I can't do this anymore, Chad. I'm sorry. I'm like, I like on two reasons. One, this shit is so dumb what they're saying that it's actually making my condition worse. Like, the more I'm watching this, the like sicker I feel, bro. And it's not helping my cause at all. Like, I feel so bad, like physically speaking. Like, I can barely open my eyes right now. Listen, Fresh. I think part of the reason why is because you're asking women who are used to the sex industry that type of question. So, of course, you can expect that kind of answer because you supposedly know a lot of OnlyFans girls in Miami. So it makes sense you're getting that kind of response, you dumb fuck. I mean, what is this? What are we doing here? Why don't we just go ask the average girl who's living in the middle belt states, all right, on what's going on and dating and if they would ever do OnlyFans? I can almost guarantee you those girls are probably gonna look at you as some kind of weirdo. Like, no, they would never consider OnlyFans or whatever it is, right? It's the type of women you're talking to or used to talking to, and now you're surprised about that answer. But not even just the surprising part of it, the fact that they're trying to take this OnlyFans situation, right, and extrapolating that to make it look like all women out there behave in this manner. Like all women out there would much rather do easy sex work than, you know, a regular average work, right? Again, this is the imaging I'm telling you guys about, and this is why it's so dangerous, because they're going to ruin relationships for a lot of people moving forward in the future, because they're just going to assume that most girls are whores and, you know, cheaters and, you know, they're not worth it or manageable. And again, get used to having a robot AI girlfriend, because that's what a lot of dudes are doing. And OnlyFans is just the start of it. So if you think these women are going to buy dog, die alone, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I think it's the men who are going to be doing that. Yeah, men and women are going to be lonely, but the men, it's going to be hitting them way worse. No wonder why the suicide rate is fucking disgusting right now amongst men. In the age groups, these guys claim to fucking help, okay? But shout out to you guys for being here. Oh, we got a super chat from John, shout out to you. Says Duke, PSA for the day. Red pill incel logic makes you sick, bro. Like I could barely breathe out my nose right now, bro. And I got big nostrils, so like I'm really fucking sick. Like if I can't at least breathe out of one, it's like crazy. And even just talking, completing the sentence, I sound out of breath right now because I can't breathe through my nose, right? But yeah, listen to this bullshit makes me even more sick, bro. Like it's bad for your health, okay? Don't pop these pills. You're gonna overdose. But chat, shout out to you for being here with me, endure with me. I appreciate y'all being here, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.